the official world golf ranking average point differential right now between Scottie Scheffler, who's number 1, and Rory McIlroy, who's number 2, is currently the same numerical difference between Rory McIlroy and the 677th ranked player in the world.
Holy shit.
Chevy Equinox is your do-it-all SUV from your daily drives, weekend trips, and last-minute tee times. There's plenty of room for golf bags and gear with the Equinox cargo space. Plus, one of my favorite parts, hidden storage under the rear floor. Chevy Equinox, again, it's your do-it-all SUV. It's also the presenting sponsor of our great show, which we have today. There's a lot to talk about in the golf world. Scottie Scheffler, we talk about him for a long time. Just some pretty monumental stuff going on. Brooks Koepka's returning. We have a fantastic guest today. So it's a nice show for everyone today, gentlemen.
Yeah, great show. Scottie Scheffler back on top of the world. So proud of him. And we talked to, this Daryl Boe character who's played arguably the most golf courses on the planet. I mean, it's a quest for 3,000. It's definitely an interview you should stick around for. The fact that a guy's played as many golf courses as he has is just truly incredible. Also incredible, the Equinox EV.
It is incredible. It's our favorite. We use it when we go on trips. We take, 100 or so flights a year per person. So we're on the road a lot. Luckily, the Chevy Equinox EV is there for us all the time. The bold, athletic, and confident style of the Equinox looks just as good at the course as it does off the map. With active trim, Equinox is at home on dirt and gravel. Equinox's big touchscreen puts all your music, all your maps, and all your tech front and center. It's incredibly impressive. Chevy Equinox is your do-it-all, go-anywhere SUV. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We are back. No, it's not Groundhog's Day. You're not hearing the same podcast from before. Scottie Scheffler has won yet again. I've got a bunch of fun Scottie Scheffler stats to go through. I kind of tweeted this out yesterday, but I've decided for the entire year. So I retired from gambling for a couple months. The late part of the regular season of college football just didn't go my way. I thought, hockey's on every single night. As Frankie knows, we're hockey guys. You can bet every night. You think that you know the board, and it really doesn't take long for you to just not be doing as well as you'd like. So I retired for a little bit, came out of retirement over the weekend. Last week, I decided to place a wager on Scottie Scheffler to win. I'm going to be putting $500 on Scottie Scheffler to win every single tournament that he plays in this entire year. I see that tweet every year or two. One pops up that's like, oh, if you would bet on Scottie, $100 on Scottie to win every event for the last 4 years, you'd be up like 10 grand. So I'm just going to see where we're at. Great start. He was like plus 290. I got him at. I love all the gambling people that were like, oh, you got him at the worst price the whole time. Like, shut the fuck up. I won. You didn't. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sending those kinds of tweets. I got a lot of stats to go through, but in terms of general run of show, gentlemen, we got Scottie Scheffler. We got Patrick Reed winning, which I want to talk about. I want to get into this Alex Honnold guy climbing the goddamn tower. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Brooks Koepka's back this week, and I decided to dress up for you guys this morning. So that's what I got on the run of show.
You look fantastic. We also have who we think is the number one golf course attendee player in the world. We talked about this hypothetical maybe 2 shows ago, who has played the most golf courses, and we think we found the guy. We actually met him in person. We found this guy online. People had sent us a ton of messages about him, even though he doesn't have many followers. He just does this for the love of the game. We'll get to that towards the end of the show. I hope it's going to be one of our more interesting interviews. We have not spoken to him. He's going to come in live in real time. We're recording this around 11. He said that he can hop in after his meeting at 12. Can't believe he has a job. This guy has played close to 3,000 rounds of golf. So it's an outrageous number, and I cannot wait to hear everything about his life, how he plays all these golf courses, what's his favorite, like what kind of player is he? I mean, I have so many questions for him. So we've got that towards the end of the show. But yeah, Scottie Scheffler is just an outrageous human being. He's an alien. The way he hits the ball makes you just think that golf is so easy. You watch him. We can get through all the stats, but just so proud of the boy. So proud of him.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to watch. We're going to have a front row seat to watching Bennett grow up at this point. I mean, you watch early tournaments from when he first had him, and now I think Bennett is walking. You saw him on the green after Scottie won yesterday. You're just seeing, and I saw somebody tweet too, it might have been Claire, when she was like, the only reason we haven't seen Bennett in the last few months is because it's been the off season. So, there's just that blank period where we don't see him. But when it's golf season, we're going to see Bennett and we're going to see him grow up, because Scottie Scheffler, I think in 2024, he won 7 times. Last year, he won 6 times. And, he's 1 for 1 already this year. So you were right off the top, Riggs. Like, it sounds like it's the same show, but I don't know what else you're supposed to say. I do want to go through the stats. I know he crossed the 100 million mark in earnings. I know it was his 20th win. Like, it's all just accumulating, and it's happened in a pretty short period of time. But it does feel like this show, when Scottie wins, which is pretty damn often, is just like, wow, this guy makes it look easy. Shot at 66, won by 4, no problem. Scottie Scheffler, 20th win of his career.
I liked that the Bennett Scheffler tweets were like, it was sort of like we were, all of us, every other human being on earth other than the Scheffler family, like we're Bennett Scheffler's uncle, and we've been on like a work trip out of the country for a couple months, and we just came back and we're like, whoa, he got huge all of a sudden because Scottie just hasn't played. There was just Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then all of a sudden when Scottie does his annual Sunday tradition of winning and Bennett comes out, you're like, wow, his head was like bigger than Meredith Scheffler's head. All of a sudden you're like, holy shit, that kid grew a lot in the last 3 months.
He's got
since
hair
Scottie
now.
won.
He's got hair, the whole thing.
It's just beautiful to watch him grow up. We're gonna get to see a lot of that. So folks understand, Scottie Scheffler has 20 PGA Tour wins since 2022 Phoenix Open, which is next week. So that is 4 years. This is his 16th win in 38 starts since switching to the Spider putter, which we went into pretty good detail about with both Adrian Rietveld when he was on the show, and then with Scottie himself when he was on a couple weeks ago. In terms of fewest career PGA starts required to get to 20 wins since 1960, Tiger Woods is the fewest with 95. Jack Nicklaus is the second fewest with 127. Scottie Scheffler is the third fewest with 151. Then you got Arnie at 178, and Rory took 205, which is 54 more starts than Scottie Scheffler took to get to that. Think about how much of a phenom Rory was, and think about how front-loaded Rory's career really was. I mean, he was coming out and winning everything. He won his 4 major championships in those first few years. He was the Rory. In each of his last 10 times that Scottie Scheffler was either one back or had a share of the lead entering the final round on tour, he has gone on to win all 10 times. To put that into a little bit of context, when Brandel was on this show right before the Masters tournament, he went into great detail about the most penalizing and difficult hindrance to play with in all of golf is the lead. Statistically, people are 3 or 4 under per round. They're averaging 3 or 4 under per round. That gets them to 12 or 15 under through 3 rounds. That's how you get in or near the lead on the PGA Tour. And in the final round, their scoring average is at least a couple shots higher, which just tells you playing with the lead is the most difficult thing you could do in professional golf. Scottie is 10 for 10. 10 for his last 10. He is tied for or one back of the lead. His made birdie putts in the final round. This is the distance. This is how close this fucking guy's hitting the golf ball. His made birdie putts from the distance. 4 foot 5 inches, 13 inches, 7 inches. That was a 2 putt, but that tells you how well he struck the ball in that par 5. 2 foot 1 inches, 10 feet 5 inches, 2 feet 7 inches, 2 feet 2 inches, 4 feet 3 inches, 4 feet 1 inch. Those were the distances that he made his birdie putts from in the final round of the tournament. The official world golf ranking average point differential right now between Scottie Scheffler, who's number 1, and Rory McIlroy, who's number 2, is currently the same numerical difference between Rory McIlroy and the 677th ranked player in the world.
Holy shit.
In his last 13 PGA Tour starts, Scottie Scheffler has won 7 and has not finished worse than tied for 8th. And he has officially crossed the $100 million mark in earnings. So
for me to get one birdie, it feels like I need to have all those distances added up, and it's like a bomb putt. Like, I bet you my average birdie putt is all of his birdies combined.
I played the other day and was out there, and it took me like 7 or 8 holes to hit a green in regulation. And I was playing from like 6,700 yards, perfect conditions, dome golf, play all the time, consider myself at times decent at the game of golf. and I had like finally a birdie putt from like 47 feet. An hour and 45 minutes into the day, and this guy's hitting him to 2 feet 1 inches, 2 feet 7 inches, 4 feet 1 inch. It's insane.
When you put it like that, it's it's pretty easy to win, and not that winning is easy, but when you do that, when you're that consistent, yeah, if you can hole a bunch of those putts, you're going to win a lot of golf tournaments, and that's exactly what Scottie's been doing for 4 years.
His chipping too was insane yesterday. I saw Blades Brown, who I want to get into as well, 18-year-old absolute stud. I couldn't believe what he was doing throughout the week. They showed that video to start the week, him going from the Bahamas, playing on the Corn Ferry Tour, all the way out to Palm Springs, which is about as far as you could go and be in North America, it feels like, and then showing up, playing 3 phenomenal rounds of golf that got him in the final group with Scottie Scheffler. His whole takeaway from the whole thing was like, yes, Scottie Scheffler's amazing, but he's like, I didn't realize how good his short game was. And it really, because I was watching a lot, I was pretty, tuned in. Big thanks to the DraftKings Sportsbook. It really does. It went from like monotonously being like, oh, of course Scottie Scheffler's winning, to like was kind of hanging on the edge of my seat the whole time, which is why DraftKings is awesome. But the way that he was able to play that golf course, because that is a Pete Dye golf course. I know everybody shot a million under par, but there's trouble lurking. Scottie made double on 17, didn't matter at all. The way that he was able to play that golf course when he finally got in the lead and separated himself by hitting it to 0 feet every time was like on the par 3s that were 220 yards, back left pin, water all up the left. He would just hit it into the right fringe, and then he did that on a par 5. He did that where he looked a little bit upset at times, but like he was clearly doing that with a hint of purposefulness, because he knew, I'm not going to make a double. I'm not going to throw this tournament away. And then his short game was so good, it was a miracle that the balls weren't going in the hole. His chips were like closer than a lot of people's putts as they burned the edges. It was shocking they didn't go in. And that was kind of Blades Brown takeaways. He's like, I knew he's really good. I know his ball striking is amazing. He drives the ball great. His irons are great. Everything's great. He's like, I couldn't believe his wedges from 120 yards in. And he's like, I couldn't believe his short game. He wasn't leaving himself 5 feet or 8 feet. Scottie talked about this afterwards in his interview. He was like, he was leaving himself where like he would chip, and then everyone had to stand still because his caddy had to hand him the putter and they had to take the pin out, and he would just walk up and tap it every time. That's how close he was hitting it.
Yeah, it's really remarkable how when we play this much golf as we do, and you watch him go out there and play the game that way, it's a whole nother sport. I mean, it's like something we can't even comprehend, which I know people say that was what Tiger was doing when he was in his prime, where it was like doing things that you can't even wrap your head around, especially that gap between him and the next greatest players on tour. That's the thing that is really hard to fathom, that the best in the world are dumbfounded at how he's doing this stuff right now. Every facet of the game, fairways, ball striking, putting, chipping, no matter what it is, he's essentially perfect at it. I mean, it's like, what is his last like 10? What was that one stat? This run that he's on, like the last like 11 starts or something, or 10 starts, he's won 7 of them.
In his last 13 starts, he's won 7 and has not finished worse than tied for 8th.
I mean, what are we talking about? He's played 13 tournaments and he's won 7 of them, and he was like 1 or 2 strokes off winning all 13 of them.
So, and think about that. If you're finishing tied for 8th, that means you lost to only 7 players, and those players are probably, Xander Schauffele, and like those are the guys.
And you're probably 2 strokes back at worst.
Right.
Yeah, like it's not very far back.
One
there.
missed putt on Thursday, maybe one chip that rolled out a little far on Saturday, maybe a drive that like was in the fairway and then went into the high stuff and you couldn't hit the green, so you ended up being short. Like maybe 3 strokes throughout a whole entire tournament, and like that's why you finished in 7th.
And the crazy part is this felt like a tournament too early on, where I was actually a little nervous with my bet because the place overall was playing so easy that I was like, it's like a Corn Ferry Tour event. It's, we talk about that a lot, where like if Rory went out, would he just win the Corn Ferry Tour event every week because it feels like it's a putting competition? The courses aren't that difficult. Everybody hits wedges in there, and it comes down to who makes more like 10 footers. So I was a little bit nervous about that throughout the week, yet Scottie just did it. He just did the thing. And when we had Colt Nost on last week, and he and I were kind of combing through, and it's, how many things can you hear about Scottie? I get that it gets redundant. When he keeps winning, you got to talk about it. And I was asking Colt, I was like, what, as a guy that's been out there on course for years. He knows Scottie. Colt's a Texas, a Dallas guy, so a Texas guy. You know, Scottie lives there, whatever. And he was like, his mental game is what people don't talk about enough. And that's sort of like when you really go back and you look at Tiger and you look at all of that, it's like that stat of him being 10 for 10 when he's won back or tied for the lead is so insane, because it is really, when it gets tight, when it gets intense, it's so much harder to play golf, and anything could happen. When they teed off, you know, Scottie was like even through 3 or 4, and everybody else was 1 or 2 under, and it looked like, oh, he's not even going to be in the top 3 right now. He's going to be in like 4th or 5th place. And then you look up an hour and a half later, and he's up by 5 shots. It's just like this guy under intense pressure and, you know, in the heat, most heat that you could play in, he just doesn't waver. And not only does he not waver, he gets himself to, he's hitting it to 2 feet. I mean, he's hitting it. Who hits it to 2 feet ever? You know, what do you hit? You hit 1 to 2 feet, what, like a couple times a year, maybe? And it's like on accident. You pulled it or something. It's like,
he makes me want to start just taking the club back way higher and like shuffling my feet and hitting cut. He makes me want to change my game so badly. Watching him hit those little butter cuts into the greens with like a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, the way that he can just come over top, comes right through the ball, perfect divot every time. It's just so easy. It's like he's got that grip. It's all in his grip, man. That freaking 6-iron training aid that he has. That thing that he has, it's preposterous how good his grip is. And he holds it up, looks at his grip, and then holds and then keeps that grip down like he's a freaking AJGA player.
Do you think there will be a generation, sort of like Steph Curry changed basketball, where it went from all dunking to kids wanting to shoot threes? Do you think there'll be a generation of kids who are shuffling their feet and
definitely,
yeah,
dude? Right? I've been thinking, I haven't gone to a range yet because like we haven't really played much golf. We just went down to Florida for the PGA show, and we played a couple rounds of golf. We filmed some videos which are coming out this week. Lil Sass and Francis against Trent and myself. Son of a Fore dad, for the boys. We don't know what we're gonna call it. What did Francis had one that was? I
think he said Fore dad.
4 boys or something like that. Anyway, that's an unbelievable video that you guys are gonna have to check out, I think Wednesday. But I haven't really had a chance to go to like
Brendan
the range.
Told me that's really good.
Like, no, I really want to start. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people on Instagram and on TikTok that are starting to do this drive where like they really just open up and they don't care about like staying level or like their balance. It's really just like getting through the ball and opening up their hips. So like a lot of these long drivers do that, but people are starting to do that more often. I mean, dude, if you go and watch one of Grant Horvat's videos, sometimes he'll even like fall back after one of his swings, or like Mac Boucher will do it a lot of the times where like every single one of his swings, I know he slings it a lot, but if you watch one of Mac's videos where he tries to hit it straight and it's like those aesthetically pleasing drives that are like going into the mountains, he'll a lot of the times like fall backwards or fall forward because he just doesn't. It's all about shaping their swing. Like they don't really care about the aesthetically pleasing, making sure that it's like I got to start doing that. Just get the ball where you want it to go. Stop thinking about the swing so much and just be athletic and do it. That's what Scottie Scheffler does. He literally is just like, I'm going to just swing the way that it feels comfortable and I'm going to get it done.
I think there's a Padraig Harrington clip that I saw, I don't know if it was recently or a long time ago, where he says, he's talking about teaching kids how to play golf, but he's like, whatever their feet and whatever their bottom half does when they swing through, don't stop them. Like if you're a swing coach, the idea is you want to get them stable so you can start to really get them to rotate. He's like, dude, let their feet go all over the place. Let them figure out their swing. And, you know, you're doing it a little later and you have a pretty established game, Frankie. But if it's sort of the same idea where it's like, do whatever you can to shape it, to get through the ball, to make it so the contact is better. And clearly Scottie is the number one example of all that. Like you wouldn't teach his swing at an academy. You just wouldn't. You wrinkle out or you would iron out everything that he's doing. But if it works, it works. At the end of the day.
You know what's really interesting is, you know, like Frankie, I feel like you and I are similar with this. Like when you hit one in the trees and you like have to hit a low hook around a tree, that you just do it.
Yes.
And you don't think about how you're going to do it. You just kind of do it and it works. I'm not saying you execute the shot perfectly, but you hit a low hook. It might hook too much, it might cut, but like you just do it. And you almost never really like mishit it. You never like stand over it and like yip it. And you're like, it's just like you just do it. And I'm that way as well. For whatever, like standing on a tee, dome golf, Arizona, perfect weather. Not that confident over the driver. Sometimes you're standing there and like as you take it back, I'm thinking like, okay, I need to get hands out, get it here, make sure you drop it. Oh God, and you're like out of trouble, and you're whatever reason it doesn't go that well. Versus like, and it's the same deal on the range. When I'm standing on the range with like Trotty, and Trotty's like, Riggs, I want you to start this ball at the right edge of the range and fucking hook it, no matter what you got to do. You're like, okay, and you try to hook it. I think I hook it like Mac Boucher, and it's like a dead straight 1 yard draw or something like that.
Yeah,
and he's like, look at that. Did you think about anything else? You're like, no, I was just like, I'm going to swing inside out. I'm going to hook this thing. And so it really does kind of teach you that like athletically, you can just do stuff, like your body could do it. We're all gifted differently. Sure. But that is such a important part. And I feel like exactly what you're talking about when I watch Scottie play, where I'm like, dude, he feels like he's playing with pure freedom and he's just envisioning a shot and then hitting it. And yes, that helps that he's prepared extensively. He's 8 trillion times more athletically and golf gifted than I am. All that stuff helps. But when he's actually out there playing, it does feel like he's just having like fun hitting shots almost. And he's not grinding over any part of his golf swing.
He is so just square. His club face is so square. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like he must like that, whatever his numbers are, it must be just zeros across the board when he's making contact. Like it's pure, perfect.
Zeroed out. Just
couldn't be more perfect contact. I think it's all in his grip and just the way that he comes down, attacks the ball. It's so effortless. It is so effortless. I could watch a video of Scottie hitting like 9 irons into a green all day long. That freaking divot he takes and the way that his feet kind of shuffle out and his hands, he doesn't even follow through the whole way. He kind of like throws his hands at the target and then slowly follows through over just to like get the club out of the way. But it's just like a fucking dart, man. It is a dart every single time. This guy's got darts in his neck.
What? It's absolutely sick. I was doing,
bro.
Go ahead, Trent Daddy.
I've asked this question before, but do you think all of this, the Scottie Scheffler experience for the last 4 years and all of the wins and all of the money and all of the success, do you think it's getting the publicity that it deserves?
No.
I think in the golf world, it's all we're talking about. I mean,
I agree, but it's like
golf world, yes.
Greatness usually transcends, and I'm not saying Scottie is nowhere and that nobody's talking about him, but unfortunately, the comparison in this world is golf or is Tiger Woods. And that was like, whoa. And that took over everything. And it was Wheaties boxes and Sports Illustrated and everything. I don't know if it's just this new generation where people are paying attention to different things. Everything's a little bit more fragmented. It's not like everyone's focusing on one sport or one guy who's doing something incredible. I don't know, but I would err on the side of, I don't think it's getting the publicity it deserves, but it's clearly the one thing we're always going to be talking about.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the Q rating, right? And like how you determine that is a little like natural charisma, but it's also, I think, a concerted effort or lack thereof, right? Like I think if you look at like Cristiano Ronaldo, I think he truly makes a very concerted effort to build a brand and be a brand, and he's done that his whole career. I think Scottie has been very clear in interviews that he has no interest in any of that. Sure, he also might not be off course, whatever, as interesting as Ronaldo, no matter how, if he tried or didn't. But I think all of that kind of adds up. And yeah, I kind of agree that I don't think it really does transcend. It is all over the golf world, Frankie. So I think that part of it, he is getting the credit he deserves. Like it's all anybody can tweet about, talk about, the stats that they're bringing up. There's probably 20 more amazing ones that were on Twitter that I didn't put on the sheet that people were digging up and coming up with. But yeah, like, I'm not a big basketball guy, but like Steph Curry transcends. I know when he has a big night, when he's raining them from half court, I know that, and it transcends, whereas other guys might not. And in the golf world, I don't know that outside of like majors or when he gets arrested, like I don't think it really transcends that much.
I mean, the reality is it's, 20 wins, but it's not every single one's a major. Golf's just not going to transcend. That's just a sport of golf, the nature of golf. Like the American Express, even in my group chat, my buddies, like a lot of them are big golf fans, but like they weren't really tuned into the American Express. Like that's just the reality of the situation. So I mean, yes, I think that he's on this run where it's like it will transcend. His stats will always transcend when, like, the next time he wins a major, his stats are going to come with it. And it's going to be like, this guy has won the Grand Slam. He's also won 21 events in the last 4 years. That's when people start to be like, what's that guy doing over there in that sport? That's insane.
Yeah,
but like week to week, you won't be reading it on the back, the back page of Newsday. Local sports are always going to trump like golf. That's just what it is. Like it's weird. Golf just doesn't make its way into that mainstream media.
It is so true. I've seen more Scottie Scheffler stats than I have seen clips of him talking about the win, clips of the win. Even it's more just people digging up a bunch of stats. And that is like, because it's tangible. It's something you can show people and be like, look, this is an incredible thing that's happening. But yeah, for whatever reason, it just hasn't. I mean, yesterday was the AFC title game and the NFC title game. There's a lot going on, but like, yeah, the Amex isn't going to move the needle as nearly as much as like a major. Sure.
Yeah. And I was watching his interview last night. It's like 13-minute clip on YouTube of the post round presser, and he's like, he says a couple times like, yeah, hopefully I get home tonight. He's just sort of like, it wasn't all hype up talking about his stuff and how great it was much more just sort of like, yeah, I prepare really hard, and so when I'm able to come out here and execute, it feels good, and I'm like excited to get home, and then I'll be back at it in a couple weeks. And it's just sort of like business as usual. Where I think that part of it is hard to transcend too when it's business as usual, right? Like the beginning part of the year last year when Rory kind of like was on his tear when he won Pebble, and he's like winning events leading up to the Masters tournament. It was almost like, oh, this is a little bit abnormal. This is like kind of what we saw 10 years ago. Rory's coming back. He's doing it. There's no like coming back. It's like Scottie's just like been doing it for 4 years now. And you're sort of like, oh yeah, of course he won. He's Scottie Scheffler. Wasn't he the favorite? Yeah, he was the favorite. Oh, of course he won. He's a favorite.
It's a no fault to Scottie's golf game. I'll tell you that. He's doing all the right things to make himself transcend because he just plays incredible golf and wins pretty much every tournament that he enters. So
yeah, I was doing a little bit of, extrapolating out. Scottie has 20 wins in 4 years. He's got 4 major championships in 4 years. He's only 29 years old. He's going to be 30 on Sunday of the U.S. Open this year, as we talked about at Shinnecock. Incredible opportunity for him to win the career Grand Slam on his 30th birthday, which is also Father's Day, and the whole deal. We'll see if that happens. Iconic course right in Frankie's backyard. Point being, he's only 29 years old. If he keeps the same pace that he's going at, which might sound a little bit crazy, but if you look statistically, I believe last year was the best year of his career. I think his ball striking was better last year than it was either of the prior 2 years, which is insane because he's winning 5 times. He's winning 7 times the years prior, all that. If he just keeps the same pace, in 5 years from now, he would be at 45 PGA Tour wins and 10 major championships. That 45 PGA Tour wins would have him, I believe, would be 8th all time in PGA Tour win history, which would be tied with Phil Mickelson. That 10 majors would have him in like the top 5 of major championships all time. That would put him at 34 and a half years old, by the way, which is still very much in your prime. Rory McIlroy is like 36, I think, right now. So it's not like that would be some old man. If he went for 10 years at this exact same pace, he would get to around 70 wins and he would be at around 15 majors. Tiger Woods, of course, has 15 major championships and is second all time. And 70 wins would be right behind Jack Nicklaus. So he would be like 4th all time. That, again, would put him at 39 years old. Just, again, for context of how good people can play. Justin Rose, who almost won 2 of the last, 4 major championships, is 45 years old. He was absolutely dominant in the Ryder Cup. Now, we've seen a lot of people have hot stretches. We've seen a lot of people, it's hard to keep up the pace. If you go look at Jordan Spieth right now, if you go look at JT, for example, who he's had a little bit of a comeback. He's played much better the last couple of years. It's not easy to hold on to it forever. Go look at Jon Rahm after he went over to Live, and even before he went to Live, it's not easy to hold that forever. Scottie, however, seems to have all the pieces in place. He doesn't seem to have some sort of, no pun intended, like car wreck incoming that's gonna mess up his career. It seems like when he goes home, he's even happier than he is at golf tournaments. He's even more sound than he is at golf tournaments. He's more grounded. He's got the best home situation in the history of the world. Again, we don't, who knows what the hell could happen, but it seems like he's not going to get worse. He's only going to continue to get better. It's kind of what it feels like. His putting, he's like top 20 on the PGA Tour over the last year in putting. And if you remember a couple of years ago, this guy looked like every time he was out coming off a putting green, you know, he was ready to bury some. He was ready to kill somebody. He's ready to light somebody on fire. Now he's one of the best putters in the world. So it looks like he's only going to get better. And again, that is kind of conservative. If I'm honest, people, of like him keeping that pace for 5 years seems pretty reasonable. And even just at 5 years, that would get him to 10 major championships all time. That would get him to 45 wins all time. You're looking at like a top 10, top 5 player in the history of the game if he continues at this pace for like 5 or 7 years.
It's phenomenal. I mean, yeah, I mean, staying with it is obviously difficult, but to transition, I mean, guys can stay really, really good like Patrick Reed for a really long time. Patrick Reed's back on the top of the world of golf, as he likes to be. I mean, you got to think that Used Golf Facts has been having an absolutely incredible Monday today.
I haven't checked that account in a very long time. I really haven't.
Let me look at Used Golf Facts. When's the last time you used
all capitals?
Used Golf
Used Golf Facts been on a couple-year hiatus, it looks like. Last time looks like she was going after Tron Carter last time in 2023, going after a few folks. Haven't really seen much.
They got the bag, and she's like, I'm done caring about this.
That's true.
Done. You're done.
It was all worth it. Yeah, Patrick Reed, man. Was it last year, maybe 2 years ago, where Patrick Reed and Rory were kind of getting into it on the range at the Dubai Desert Classic? Maybe it was like 3 years ago. The time kind of goes.
Wasn't he throwing tees at people?
He threw a tee at his feet. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that? And that was like shortly after I think Rory had been like served papers on Christmas Eve by like Patrick Reed's.
That's right.
Oh, what a great saga. What a good.
Wasn't he suing? Was it?
He was suing everybody.
Somebody in the media for
Brandel?
like $100 billion.
I think he sued. Yeah, he sued Brandel for like a Dr. Evil amount of money. I think it was a ridiculous number. Patrick Reed gets a win, big win over in the Dubai Desert Classic. He was going up against David Puig, who was really young. ASU hits the ball an absolute mile. He won on the European Tour, DP World Tour at the end of last year. I think he was in South Africa when he won, so he's been playing really well. He's on the old Fireballs over on Live Golf with Sergio. But Patrick Reed, man, you know, it was right around the time that we launched this show, I think, is when he declared himself a top 5 player in the world. When he won like his first tournament ever, it was at the Doral Blue Monsters when he was on the 18th green there. And he declared that. And then like a year or two later, he did win the Masters tournament. And he's been quite the interesting cat for him to come out and win that event. I mean, there were some serious players. Rory was in that field. I believe Tommy Fleetwood was in that field. So it ain't a PGA Tour event. It's not a major. It's Dubai and it's, January. But Patrick Reed wins. And then afterwards, he said that he's technically a free agent right now. He did say, by all accounts, he expects to and plans to play in the first event in a couple weeks in Riyadh, which is the Under the Lights first event on Live. So that part didn't necessarily make it into the headlines, but he did say that they're still trying to finalize a deal with Live. So Patrick Reed's a free agent right now.
Well, and he's an interesting case because he doesn't qualify for the members returning program. He won the Masters in 2018. That's well before the cutoff that they came up with. But, as a guy, as a golf fan who watches the PGA Tour and follows the PGA Tour, I want Patrick Reed back on the PGA Tour. I think we all do. It's you've been missing something. If you remember the ups and downs of having Patrick Reed involved in the PGA Tour on a week-to-week basis was incredible. He drove people crazy. He made people mad. He's a polarizing guy. He's one of those guys who's just like every time he steps in front of a mic or every time he plays in a golf tournament, people are like, they have an opinion about it. And you kind of don't know what you got till it's gone. Patrick Reed probably drove people crazy, me included sometimes. But then when he's gone, it's just everything's a little bit less interesting. I don't know what his path back to the PGA Tour would be. I have no idea what that looks like. But it sounds like he's a free agent. It sounds like he's going to be playing on Live. But if he's not, we got to somehow get this guy back into the PGA Tour fold, because the fact of the matter is it's just a way more interesting tour when he's involved.
Yeah, what was the talk about the fee now that like this basically would pay his fee? What was the fee for to play on the DP World Tour?
DP, I believe.
I believe, yeah, the fines that you got to pay to play live if you want to maintain your membership at the DP World Tour, I believe.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see him, right? I mean, like, it's great to see him back in the mix. He's obviously a huge character in the game of golf, and we don't have many of those. And while we still have Patrick Reed playing golf competitively, it would be better to see him more often than not.
Yes.
It does suck when these guys just go out into the distance and you never see him again. It's just you want these names, you want to hold on to them for as long as you can, while this generation of golfers are still doing it. Because like at one point, Patrick Reed's going to hang up the cleats and hang up the sticks, and he's not going to be playing golf much longer. And we need a couple more controversies out of him before that happens. He's just always in the mix. He's throwing tees. He's moving grass. He's grounding his club in the bunker.
It's everything.
Dude, it's everything. His wife is walking across the green at Bethpage Black during the PGA Championship wearing full leather jacket and high heels, looking like Cersei Lannister, literally dropping balls in front of him, making him putt them. And she had notes. She had a paper. She had paper and pen as Patrick Reed was putting on the practice green at Bethpage Black. His wife was writing down notes and screaming at his putting coach, being like, he's not making these because he's coming too far outside to end.
I forgot what hole it was, but we were walking around Bethpage Black that week for the PGA Championship, and we just saw her sitting on the ground with her like legs in, and she was writing on the piece of paper, watching Patrick Reed play. These are the people that we need. I know, like, listen, when all of the live stuff happened, the people we lost, a lot of them were like kind of in the same boat of they make headlines. It's a Bryson, it's a Patrick Reed, even Brooks to an extent. He doesn't make those type of headlines, but he can be moody and he can like make, you can have opinions that make people go, what's he talking about? And I think we lost a bunch of those guys from the PGA Tour, and it's just more boring without guys like that. And I want as many of them back.
That's why they went and got them. Like Liv needed to get people that were interesting.
But they also seemed like the most willing participants. Like they were almost, I know Bryson's thing was like, he's happier on Liv because he doesn't have those eyeballs on him and he doesn't make a headline every single week. I want the guys that make a headline every single week, and Patrick Reed might be number one on that list.
Yeah, it was like the guys that always seemed like they were a little bit unhappy and ready to jump ship at any moment. You know, it was like Sergio Garcia slamming his club in bunkers and like bitching at people. Okay, you know, it was Bryson who's like, it was Phil who was like media rights, and they're withholding billions of dollars of my media rights, and you know, it was just like this crew of people that were like never happy really with the PGA Tour. We're always looking for a reason, and you're right, man. Like when I saw Patrick Reed and that little shit-eating grin that he had, I kind of love Patrick Reed. I can't quit Patrick Reed when he showed up to the course, and they do like the car park as they call them in every other country in the world. He comes out of the car park, and the guy did the interview before the round. I was watching it yesterday morning, and he just has that shit-eating grin about playing in the final round with the 4-shot lead. And then even afterwards, when he was talking about it on the green, and he's it's pouring rain, and he's taking pictures with the trophy, and somebody's like, "Can you get it?" He's like, "I don't have to lift it again, do I?" And he's got that little, and he makes me laugh, man. It's like I still have this, even though, you know, there's all the stories about when he was at Augusta State and like they kind of kicked him off the team, and they were caught him. He was, you know, rumors or reports of him stealing stuff and him cheating and all that. I still always view Patrick Reed as just a guy that's totally unaware that anyone's talking or saying anything about him or that he's doing anything wrong, that it's all his wife and like in part of his inner circle. And he's just out on the range playing golf, thinks he's one of the guys, thinks he's just like a normal part of the crew and has no idea about the extracurriculars. He has like no idea that Use Golf Facts is tweeting that their PGA Tour Boston Red Sox Fenway tickets aren't good enough. Like he's just got no clue. And he like thinks he thinks he's just one of the boys. That's like, I always view him that way every time.
I largely agree with you. And he's quite simply a guy who is awesome on Ryder Cup teams. Like, say what you want about him. He was so fun to watch. He's had incredible battles with the Europeans, and he's an agitator. He's one of those guys, if you follow a sports team and there's a guy on the other side who you just don't like, and he's kind of, you know, coloring a little bit outside the lines, and, you know,
Brad Marchand in hockey, dude. He's a Brad Marchand. He's like a little rat. He's just like a little, you're like, God, I fucking hate that guy. But if he was on my team, I would love him.
I love Patrick Reed, and I have I'll say that every single day, and I wish he were back on the PGA Tour. I hope those live contract talks break down and he somehow finds his way back. I hope he's playing at the Waste Management in a couple weeks.
Dude, I fucking love him too.
I feel
I
the
miss
same way
Patrick
about Ian
Reed.
Poulter. You guys hate that guy, but
Yeah. No,
Ian
but we get
Poulter
it.
is
I
the
kinda get it.
definition of just like a funny, just shit stir. The guy's firing people for not dropping off his Ferrari or whatever it was. And
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, listen. The longer we do this, and listen, I still hate Ian Poulter, and I always will. But I get why he's appealing. Yeah,
hilarious.
that dude. He used to give me so much blog material that was the best one when his Ferraris didn't get transported across the country fast enough, and he like made a stink and got the guy fired.
All time, dude.
There's clips at
All
golf
time.
tournaments of guys chirping him, and he like gets them. He doesn't just get them kicked out. He like gets them fired from their jobs. Like he goes to the ends of the earth. And you listen, I hate the guy, and like he is that agitator on the other side, but you see the charm of it as the longer you follow along.
Just a dick bag. Like sometimes you just need one of these guys, a true asshole.
You need assholes, dude.
Dude, the other one was the when Ian Poulter was tweeting at British Airways about how badly they were treating his nannies that were like trying to
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, he was like, my wife and the nanny and my 6 kids are having real trouble on this flight. It's like, maybe hop on that flight with him, or just be Ian Poulter. He's man, what a guy.
It's awesome. No, it's awesome.
Also a guy that went to live, right?
Also a live guy. They're all like those live guys, It's like, yeah. How many PGA Tour wins would you guess Patrick Reed has?
I would say 9.
I was gonna say 12.
He's got 9. Well done.
Wow, well done, Trent.
Well done. That's more than I would have thought for some reason. I thought he was like kind of quick transition, like Brooks Koepka kind of, where he had like won a few times on tour and then competed in a ton of majors and won the Masters. But 9 is more than I thought. That's a shit ton of wins.
That is a shit ton of wins.
Yeah, that's a good career.
All right. Moving on. Speaking of Brooks Koepka, it is Torrey Pines time. Farmers Insurance. West Coast swing rolls on, and Brooks Koepka will be returning. This will be his first PGA Tour start since the 2022 WGC Match Play, which was in March of 2022. That event doesn't even exist anymore. Technically, major championship starts also double and count as PGA Tour starts, but his actual last PGA Tour start was the WGC Match Play in 2022. He has only, in one of the wild careers, like an Angel Cabrera type career on steroids, he's only got 4 PGA Tour wins and 5 major championships. So he's a big game hunter. And then also in interesting fashion, I looked it up this morning. Brooks Koepka, if you go to the PGA Tour career earnings, all-time career earnings list, and we noticed that all the live guys have been removed from that, Brooks Koepka has been reinstated to that list. And Brooks Koepka is 25th all-time on the PGA Tour money earnings list with $43.7 million. And he returns this week for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah, just huge for the PGA Tour. There's a lot of hype around it. I'm seeing a lot of buzz. People are talking to me about it. Brooks, how's he going to do? How's his game? Going to take him a little bit to get going. Maybe, is he going to be able to compete? I think there's a lot of pressure on him to show that his game is still there. And a lot of pressure on just like live in general too, where it's like if he comes back and gets his ass beat, it's like, wow, like they really don't have the competition to be able to hold up with the PGA Tour. But if he comes back and plays well, it's just good for the game of golf. It's really good that for the ratings, it's good for just the vibes of the whole entire tour in general. Fans are going to be coming out to see Brooks, and yeah, it's an iconic location. He's such a big time, big ballpark golfer. I think he's going to do well there. Just really excited to see him compete. I really am.
I might sprinkle a little bit on him. DraftKings Sportsbook to win. Why not? What a story that would be. Just burst back onto the scene. Big game hunter, as we've been alluding to. This, it's not a major, but this is a big fucking deal for him to be coming back. First guy to do it. I think he's gonna be feeling pressure, but he's a guy who likes it. I might put a little on him.
I was gonna say for a little social graphic, we should do a heightened, focused, just Brooks Koepka finishing position prediction for this week at Torrey Pines. I think that'll do well. I have no idea what to expect out of this guy. He didn't have a particularly great season on Live last year, but again, he was going through quite a few things, family, personal issues that occurred. I think the big game hunter thing helps him right now because like all the eyeballs are on him. He's got Torrey Pines. This might be a little bit of a distraction week. I know he's doing a press conference here earlier in the week. I can't remember if that's today or tomorrow. So there's a little bit of a theory that like he wants to get this out of the way this week, kind of get, knock off some of the old rust and then be ready to rock for the WM Phoenix Open next week. Having said that, he's a kind of guy, dude. He knows this would mean the world to the golf world. People are going to be on him. So I kind of like him this week too, but I do think we should all, including Ryan,
all right, so
Richard,
make it clean. Make it clean.
Prediction.
All right, so where do you guys think Brooks Koepka will finish at the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines this week? Trent Ryan.
I think Brooks Koepka is going to win this week.
What?
Yes, Trent Ryan.
Preposterous.
Why not?
I didn't think that was coming, man.
We are.
I didn't think you're going to go
win.
there.
What? We're talking a lot about big game hunter, big tournaments. He rises to the occasion. A lot of eyeballs on him, a lot of pressure, but he likes that. Why can't he win? It'd be an incredible story. It would be amazing.
Pull up his odds on DraftKings Sportsbook right now, please.
All right.
I have it. Do you want to guess
Ryan Richardson, what are they?
Let's just hear it.
You just want to hear it? All right. He's plus 5,200.
Okay.
So he's got to be middle of the pack, probably.
See, that's,
I'm going to say he finishes tied for 13th.
Really good result as well. I'm rooting for Brooks Koepka. I think he's great for the PGA Tour coming back. A lot of eyeballs on him. We're super excited to have him back. I think he's going to struggle to finish in the top 25. I think it's going to be I think this is a tough transition, man. Like, I know it's the beginning of the year. A lot of guys are getting their game going, which will benefit him. A lot of pressure. I know that doesn't really affect him. He is a big game player. I'm going Brooks Koepka 31st.
Okay.
I'll say my original instinct was like high 20s or something, but Trent kind of got me going on it, and I think it'd be a little bit more fun. Come on, Brooks, have a week, man. Everybody's rooting for him.
Top 50 is still good. You know what I mean? How many guys are in the field?
Dude, be incredible. What do they got? 144?
Yeah, I mean, come on. He's going to win? Trent, you got to throw some coin on it now.
I will. I absolutely will. I mean, this guy, he played on Live and he won a major. I mean, this guy, this is a couple of years ago now, but he's still Brooks Koepka. Why not? Like, it's going to be, that will light up the internet if he is in the mix down the stretch. That's what I want, dude. That's what I want. I want these guys to come back. I want these other Live guys to see like, wow, our game still translates. Let's go back over there and let's try to, let's build this thing back up. Let's go.
I just did the AI overview on Google. It says 144 player field, which may expand slightly to 151 or more, which I forgot about, right? So it can't really be 144 because Brooks is in the field. So it's got to be at least 145.
True.
Because they said they were going to add spots. I saw that Joel Damon, somebody withdrew. I can't remember who. I can't remember who withdrew, but Joel Damon got in, which is exciting. It also says, I didn't realize this. The South Course, I don't know if this is correct, but it says the South Course plays at 7,765 yards for this event. That is at sea level. That's preposterous. The ball doesn't go anywhere.
Well, dude, which course did we play when we did that video? We played from the tips.
I think we.
did. That was the South Course.
I think we played from 7,700 yards. That was the longest.
Did, dude. Remember that?
That was the longest golf course I've ever played in my entire life. I think I had a chance to break 90 that day too. I played out of my mind.
Let me tell you something.
What was that, like the 15th hole that I almost birdied? Remember I was playing outrageous?
Yep.
Let me tell you something. That's the least fun I've ever had while filming a video.
You couldn't get to the fairway. Remember that one hole over the ravine? What is that dogleg right over the ravine? You just kept dumping it right. You and Lurch just kept hitting it right. Lurch hit like 9 balls into the shit.
Sixth hole maybe it is, or fifth hole.
Just couldn't get it. You guys couldn't get it onto the fairway. At one point, you're like, I don't know what else to do. I can't reach.
Number one, the least fun I've ever had playing on video for this channel and this company.
What did Trent shoot that day? Ryan Richard, can you pull up that video? It's foreplay at Torrey Pines. You got to zoom it. You got to fast forward to the end, see what the final scores were. I would love to know what those were because that was an absolute disaster of a day. We played from tournament tees.
Disaster.
Dude, I actually kind of remember because I don't think there's a number. I don't think a number will be listed because I think I gave up at one point. Yeah, I think I gave up. I legit think I gave up. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
No.
76, 78.
You played 7,600 yards?
78.
7,800 yards. That's so stupid.
At sea level. Yeah, dude.
If you fast forward to the end of this, I think you're not going to see a number on my scorecard. Here we go.
Look, we finished.
What's this thing say?
Oh, there it was.
There's Riggs tapping in on 18. A lot of people standing around watching us.
Yeah, nice crowd there, gang.
Oh, yeah. All right. Riggs, 88.
Come on.
Riggs, 88. Lurch, 93. Frankie, 91. Damn it, I remember that. Trent, DNF. Just a nightmare, man. Go to that. What's that peak right there? You see that peak in the video? Is that him not hitting it?
Dude, that must have been it.
Oh, maybe this is, I don't know what the hell. That's a great video, though.
Look at that day we had out there.
Beautiful.
But yeah,
I mean, horrible
nice swing,
day,
Frankie.
Yeah, that was a nice swing. A nice little compact iron into the green there. Man,
mm-hmm.
I've got some great memories of Torrey Pines. For anyone listening, you guys got to go back and watch our behind the greens at Torrey Pines. Brendan Jones and I went out there and we filmed behind the greens. All four. I think actually there's only three. There's behind the greens at Wingfoot, behind the greens at Torrey Pines, and then there's and then the winter episode, which is really, really cool. It's actually good right now to go back and watch that at National Golf Links of America. We went to Garden City Men's Club, Cherry Valley. We went all over the place to film how they prepare a golf course for the winter and all the work that they do over the winter. But anyway, Torrey Pines won before the U.S. Open. One of the coolest things we've ever gotten to do. I mean, filming from the Farmers Insurance to the U.S. Open, how that impacted the way that the golf course was going to be. They had to basically get ready for two major events, and they're completely different grasses and lengths and everything. I mean, the USGA comes in and completely changes everything that Torrey Pines does for the Farmers Insurance. So really, really cool. But also we jumped off that cliff back there. That's the only reason I brought that up. We jump off that cliff insane. And I went like wind gliding, paragliding over Torrey Pines. I'll never forget that I laughed so hard I had tears coming out of my eyes because Brendan Jones was like relatively new onto the scene. Maybe a couple of years into it, but I was running him rampant during COVID. Like we were just like I'm making him buy drones. We're flying drones into trees. We're going all over the place. And I remember just watching him. We had just done the Wingfoot one the year before. Now we're at Torrey Pines. And I'm like, we got to get this shot. He's like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what this is. So he got strapped up to a guy. And I remember the vision of just him. The guy ran forward and he's on the guy's back and he's just kind of bouncing. And the guy jumps off the cliff. And Brendan Jones is standing there staring at me with a little camera. And I remember laughing so hard, being like, what did I fucking put this kid through? Like, why is he he's now gliding through the air over the Pacific Ocean because we're trying to get a shot that we could easily get with the drone. It was so funny. But go give that some love. Maybe go leave a comment underneath and say that you just came back a couple years. When was that? That was
2021?
Yeah, 2021, the 121st.
Yep.
Go watch that and maybe leave a comment for the fellas. Let's get that thing going again. Really great location.
I know those are a battle to do because they're miserable, but those do well. I mean, we always end up going like viral for the wrong reasons on those, but those do well, man. When you put the boys back there,
best videos, we're really not in them. I mean, it's just a documentary that we produced and we filmed, and I really enjoyed it. But the problem is that you put so much effort and work into it. It's like, and we talk about this all the time. This is like a little bit, what's that?
Inside baseball.
Inside. I was gonna say behind baseball, inside baseball, but like at the end of the day, it just sucks when you put all that time and effort into it and you take the editors away to do that. And it really is a great project that like I love to have, that in our catalog because it's really good work. But then like you could go out and just do a breaking 85 and double the views of that for like $0 and 3.5 hours worth of time for our editors, for our producers, for everyone. It really sucks when like the content that does well or like that people actually are like that hits the algorithm kind of dictates what you end up doing. It takes all creativity out of it. Not that like our videos aren't creative. It's just like we know kind of like our lane of like what will do well. So I mean, everyone does this in business. It's like you've got your stuff that you got to get done. And then there's other stuff that's like passion projects. And like sometimes that stuff gets pushed to the side to get the stuff that you need to get done. Is like we need to get Trent to an 84. That's something that's on our list. Like we need Trent to shoot an 84. That's at the top of the list right now. So like we don't want to take away time from doing that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I will say though, like the conversation that we had with our boy Barbuti from TaylorMade, I thought was really cool, where he was like, yeah, but we also understand that like in this example with like behind the greens, that viewership for behind the greens is like a very valuable viewership.
That's true.
Even if it's not quite as high, because the people that are tuning in are like, you know, the right people, the right golfers, the absolute nuts. And so I think that there's like a little bit of appreciation for that, which I didn't really think about or realize until he kind of said that, which I thought was cool, that like other people don't just look at a number and then be like, you know, whatever.
But like back for Shinnecock, man, it's right down the block.
Well, come on.
Well, I would also say we are the only brand who have ever attempted to do both. Like, there's definitely other golf brands that
we're bringing it back.
Okay.
I'm bringing, as long as it gets approved, I'm bringing back Behind the Greens for Shinnecock.
But you know what I mean? That'd be great. That would be amazing.
Also,
but you know what I mean? There's a bunch
of the idea though. They do it now. Like they all. Have you ever noticed that now? They just do it. They got the same shot.
Oh well,
the courses or whatever, the tournaments. You mean?
Yes.
I remember when we were at. I think we were at Torrey Pines. We're at the USGA something, and they brought us all into like a luncheon, and everybody was in there. A bunch of people. And they like showed, they're like, we got a teaser trailer that we're going to show you for our upcoming tournament. And it was just a Behind the Greens like edit. Yeah. And I watched Frankie watch it. And I was like, they just,
he's going to love
every
that.
YouTube golf brand steals everything, but like some of them went out and like I know for a fact no one had ever done a documentary style video on the grounds crew leading up to a major, because every single time I went to one, when we did the Wingfoot one, they were like, this isn't, like the guys were losing their minds. Like the grounds crew was like, we've been waiting for someone to film how insane it is that we get this golf course ready by 6:35 a.m. for a major championship to be played on it. And the amount of stuff that, dude, there's one story that we couldn't even put into the video. Like, I think it was at Torrey Pines. I think it was at the Farmers Insurance. One of the fucking tents like went on fire, and we had it on film. Like literally engulfed in flames, legitimately engulfed in flames. And like, they're like, you just like that. They had to get that ready. I think that was actually before the US Open. And then at Wingfoot, they had some chaos where someone drove onto the golf course.
Yep. I remember that.
Some woman was drunk driving. She went onto the golf course at Wingfoot. Yes.
Holy
like
shit.
I remember
Wednesday before the US Open.
That was
drove over a green. They had to move the pin.
Damn. That's the good stuff right there.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was nuts.
I think that was like a public story, though. People were talking about that. You could actually see the tracks over one of the greens.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I think people knew that.
Bring it back, dude.
I'm bringing it back,
Shinnecock.
Shinnecock.
I don't know how they get Shinnecock ready for a major, Frankie. Who's going to tell me? Somebody's going to let me know.
By the way, Lynx Gems, who's like the greatest photographer, aerial photographer in the world. I know there's a bunch of them in his like little market or his niche, but I think he's the best. He has a photo of Shinnecock Hills. I think it's like the pinned picture on his Instagram. And it's the clubhouse, the first tee, and then all the golf course. And then you've got National in the background and the perfect blue water beyond that and the windmill. Go look at it on his Instagram. I got that thing printed on a metal print that I can hang in my garage so that it doesn't expand and contract in heat and cold. It is the greatest piece of artwork I now own. It is incredible how good this photo is. There's
I love giving that guy love.
Good golf photo printed, man. There really isn't.
Nope. I love giving that guy love. He's like the best dude of all time. He takes too when he plays golf. He's a solid player, and he goes out there and plays these courts. Takes like 2,000 or 3,000 photos in a round of golf of these places, and then spends hours and hours editing them to just really make them pop. It's insane what he puts into it. God, it's not even his job. He has a real job.
Yeah,
it's like
outrageous.
He does it for fun. It's like crazy. Super Bowl 60 deserves a sports book built for the moment. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. It'll be obviously the last football game of the entire season. We had championship weekend this past weekend combined with the Amex and Scottie Scheffler winning, which I discuss on this show, but back active, utilizing, and very much enjoying the DraftKings Sportsbook, boys.
Yeah, there's some talk on this show about Brooks Koepka. How's he going to do in this upcoming tournament? His first tournament back on the PGA Tour. We all sort of take our stance. I am going to sprinkle a little bit on Brooks Koepka this week. So, go on the DraftKings Sportsbook. They got a bunch of stuff on there. No better place to be than DraftKings.
And the Super Bowl, it's, at the end of the day, it's just, if you're not in the game on that, you're just not, you're not a part of society on that day. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much going on, the biggest game possible, and everyone's going to have a little bit of action on something. I mean, whether it be first drive, halftime, the whole deal, it's just get in the mix, man. There's nothing better. There's really nothing better.
Early exit works on live bets. Pre-game or in-game, DraftKings has you covered. While other sports books don't offer injury protection, DraftKings covers the entire first half, even the second quarter. If you're new to DraftKings, guess what? New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Make sure you use our code, which is Fore, that's Fore, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
That could segue us into this psychopath that we probably got waiting. Is that guy coming onto the show?
He's on. He's ready.
I think Daryl's ready.
I gotta text him, let him know you're ready.
I don't know if Riggs is ready to get to him yet, but I'm
ready. I'm ready for Daryl.
We're ready for him.
I believe Daryl, who we met at the PGA show last week, who was a loose cannon in a great way. He was just firing. Frankie had to tell him to stop talking because we're trying to save it for the show. He was going on and on. He's like, no, but do you understand? We were like, stop talking.
Well, I'm meeting him at the PGA show, which is crazy that we met him. We had just found out about him. I sent his Instagram to Ryan Rich, and I'm like, we got to get this guy on the show. 2 days later, he's shaking our hand at the PGA show. He's like, he goes, you guys were asking about a guy that's played a bunch of golf courses. I'm your guy. I'm like, I saw your Instagram. It's like the quest for 3,000, I think, is his Instagram. He's trying to play 3,000 golf courses. He started to introduce himself, and he's about to tell us, like, this is what I do for work. This is how. I'm like, enough. We want to talk to you about all this on the show. So I was the most rude I have ever been to a person. I mean, he was laughing about it. I'm like, you need to shut up and you need to move away from us because we're going to do this whole thing so that everyone can hear it. So I'm very excited to have it's Daryl, who I think has played the most golf courses in the world.
He's got to be up there. And I remember, we were kind of doing the numbers. I just ran them real quick. To get to I think he's a little under 3,000 maybe, but we're going to find out all the information. But to get to 3,000 unique golf courses played, that would be, if you did that over 40 years, that would be 75 unique golf courses a year, which is
40 years.
Oh my God.
For 40 years. Like, that's all you do. And that, you can't start at age 0 because you're 0. You can't even walk. So even if you started at age 30, maybe, right? Because you have to be an adult with like the means to do it.
100%.
You're going from 30 to 70 years old playing 75 courses a year that you've never played before.
And that's more than one unique golf course a week, every week for 40 straight years. That means every week that comes by, like, I can't play that golf course. I got to play a new one. And the next week I got to play a new one. Then some weeks you got to play 2. And it never ends every week. So that must feel like almost every other day. You know what I mean? Like when you play on Thursday, you're like, next Tuesday, I got to play another golf course.
Right.
And I got to do that for 40 straight years.
From experience, you run out of golf courses locally very quickly. Like doing those freaking, all the 9 and 90s, different videos we've done. It's like here in Arizona, there's like 302 golf courses in the greater Phoenix area or something like that. And it's like, I've kind of played all of them in a couple of years of going out there and filming them. You like run out of them. So it's like, now you got to travel. You got to legitimately travel to go play these.
Imagine knocking out your whole state and being like, I got to go somewhere else to play these golf courses now.
This is turning into pizza reviews. When we did all the pizza reviews in New York City, we're like, holy smokes, we got to go out of New York now. Now we got to start taking Ubers. We got to start taking flights. We started taking flights to go do pizza reviews. You got to go to Ohio. You got to go to Florida. You got to go to Boston again. Like, you go look at the map of the One Bite Pizza app, which is still an unbelievable app. I would say it's the most useful app in all of food. It's just a map that has every pizza place in America, and Dave's score pops up with a little picture of his face, and you get to click that. You can list it from best to worst, and it has user score. So you can say, all right, we're in this new town. What's the best pizza? Dave's score. He gave it a 9.1. It's an all-time pizza place, but the user score is a 6.9. Maybe Dave now you can compare. It's unbelievable.
I have people in my life who use that app who aren't like Barstool people, like who don't really follow that. It's just a good food pizza app.
Yep. Go download it.
He's here.
All right. Let's bring him in. I mean, we got to hop right into it, Daryl. You're in front of all those golf course flags and pins and the whole deal. I mean, you are a little bit of a sicko when we talk about numbers, just numbers game. You are a golf sicko, an absolute addicted human being to the game of golf and golf courses. We need to know everything about you. We need to know how many golf courses you played, how you're able to do this. We got to go through the whole entire deal. Welcome to the show, first of all, Daryl Boe. Foreplay podcast. Is this the quest for 3,000? Is that the Instagram? Is that your whole
Yes.
Is that your whole character right now?
The quest for and Beautiful. Then the number 3,000, correct. And we'll get to that. I assume we'll start a little bit back as to where the genesis of even just becoming the sicko came, because it's only been chronicling it for the last few years, but we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, where does this start? Because we on this show, we were trying to figure out what could the number possibly be for someone to have played number of unique courses. Could it be 500? Could it be 1,500? Could it be 3,000? What's your actual number right now?
So right now I'm at 2,769. But as I always say, when I introduce that to people on the golf course, I always follow it up with, but who's counting? Apparently I am. I will preface this by saying I know there was at least one human being that had played more because my mentor, who we'll talk about a little bit as we get into this, was a fellow named Terry Inslee that unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. He was well over 3,000. I'm sure there'll be people who will come out of the woodworks that will have numbers that eclipse it. And I personally know of one person that's a friend of mine that I've been in a back and forth contest with. And he may be a little ahead of me right now, but it's an interesting. I do fit the description you had of the complete sicko, though. I don't remember if it was Frankie or Riggs. Which one of you talked about a middle-aged businessman that's clubs never leave his side? The other gentleman that's a friend of mine, he's a PGA professional, and during his season he doesn't hardly get to play, but during his off season he'll knock out 3 courses a day. So it's a little different deal. Mine's mine's pretty much, day by day as I'm traveling, and the clubs never leave my side. They're in the back of my truck constantly.
Wow. 3 courses a day. So do you even care about golf, or do you just care about numbers, baby? Just getting those courses checked off.
And it's funny is, it started out innocently enough. I'm a sales guy. And I got my first job. I moved to Latrobe, Pennsylvania to work for Latrobe Steel. And it was just such a golf-centric culture there. I was coming from a small town in South Dakota that didn't have any golf course. Closest one was 15 miles away in a neighboring town. I had played once or twice in high school and maybe a few times in college. But to be honest, in looking back, I mean, it was pretty Spartan conditions, quite frankly. Most of the rounds probably did not involve wearing a shirt to give you a little sense of it. And so next thing you know, I moved, and I was a college athlete. I played basketball in college. So I get to Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and it's just such a golf mecca, being Arnold Palmer's hometown and everything, that, the guys from work at the new company I started with said, "Hey, we've got a company golf league. You play golf?" And of course, I'm a cocky college athlete. I'm like, heck yeah, I play golf. How hard can this be, right? And so I showed up, didn't know how to dress, probably didn't know how to act, certainly didn't know how to hit a golf ball. And a gentleman kind of came to me that would go on to become my boss at some point. He was in the sales organization, and I was an engineer, but I was going into a training program for this company uses only engineers as salespeople. And so I was going to become a sales guy. And he kind of pulled me aside after the first week of the golf league and said, "Dude, we need to work on your wardrobe and get you polished up a little bit." So that's how I kind of got introduced to golf. We could delve into it. It's a whole nother podcast to talk about the Arnold Palmer stories, because I had the great fortune of meeting him many times and getting to know him fairly, on a somewhat personal level. So, but we'll save that for another time, because this is more about the numbers. I got out into sales and started traveling, and the first thing that happened when I got out on the road, because I'm a sports nut, was every night if I didn't have a customer with me or a coworker traveling with me, I'd be sitting in a bar, eating wings, drinking beer, watching sports. And the pounds kind of started slowly adding up and adding up. And so I just made a point of saying, you know what? If I don't have a business dinner, I'm going to just take my clubs, grab a little sub sandwich or something, and go play golf almost every afternoon. And I just got in the habit of coming back to a particular town. I would try to seek out a course I hadn't played before. And so that kind of was the genesis of playing a lot of different courses. It was innocent enough to start with.
And then at what point did you go from, okay, it's fun to try to play new courses, to I'm going to add up exactly where I'm at and I'm going to chase 3,000 golf courses to the point where I'm going to acquire a mentor for this entire operation?
So I was getting pretty golf crazy. And to tell you, I mean, I do love golf. I love golf architecture. But what I might love more than even the golf itself and the golf architecture is golf people. I mean, absolutely love that 90% of my rounds are on the road by myself, and it's just ridiculous the strata of social strata and whatever. I mean, I've met 2 presidents on the golf course. I've played with more people with cut off jeans and and a t-shirt. So it's been amazing. So in 1996 or thereabouts, Golf Digest published in their magazine the formula that they use for their course rating panelists and how they determine the best in state and the top 100 and that stuff. They actually published the formula. Well, I'm an engineer, I'm a nerd. So the next day I sat down and wrote an Excel spreadsheet with that formula, and I started doing that with every golf course I played, whether it was a goat track or whether it was one of the greatest golf courses in the country. I started doing the numbers in my spreadsheet. Well, that spreadsheet on the left-hand side has a number. And as it kept growing and growing, I slowly but surely tried to go back and recreate, what I had played before I started the spreadsheet. And it was a little haphazard at first. But 2 things that kind of got me to where I think I'm at a pretty accurate number. I found an app called Golf Played that I read about in Golf Digest. It's a gentleman from South Africa that tried to play on tour. It's a free app, and I've become friends with him because I try to help him keep his database up to date a little bit now. But it does nothing but track how many golf courses you've played, and you check it on the list. And so as I sat down and started going through state by state, I'd say, oh, well, I played that one and I forgot about it, or I played that one. And so that was a big way I picked up a lot of courses that were, previously played and I didn't have recorded in my database. And then the other one, as I said, was a little bit more of a sad situation that's turned out okay. But my wife, back around the pandemic, got breast cancer. And she's fine now through it, thank God, and all good. But good. For a couple, like 3 or 4 weeks there, I was basically sitting on the couch next to her, waiting on her. And there's only so many Hallmark and Netflix shows you can watch when she controls the remote control. So I started going in the closet and digging out pro shop shopping bags full of scorecards that I had just been thrown into bags and thrown into a closet. And I sat down and put them all in order and put them in shoe boxes, which I'll show you later. They're over and stacked up in the corner. And doing that, I probably found, 70 to 100 more courses that I played early on that I wasn't aware of. So those got me pretty up to date. So the mentor thing, the Golf Digest, I was doing that stuff on my own in the spreadsheet anyway. And in 97 or thereabouts, I went to the member guest at my club, Musgrove Mill, here in Greenville, South Carolina. And I met my mentor, a guy named Terry Inslee, the gentleman that, as I said, had played over 3,000 courses when he passed away. And he was a Golf Digest panelist. And I always love, he tells the story, and I think he got exaggerated a little more each time it was told, but I don't remember that it was quite exactly this way. But the way he tells the story to people up until the end was, he said he was sitting at the member guest tournament, and my pro had told me, he said, "Hey, see that guy sitting over there?" He said, "That's Terry Inslee. He's a Golf Digest panelist." I said, "Oh, cool." Well, Terry tells the story that he said this young, tall, blonde-headed kid comes walking up to me and says, "Terry, my name's Daryl Boe. I'm your new best friend. You just don't know it yet." And that began a very what's the word I'm looking for? Parasitic relationship, shall we say? I was Terry's tag along whenever he would come to, because he was a nut. Okay, he had retired and sold his business, and after we started playing a lot together, we enjoyed each other's company, and he would say, "Hey, I'm coming up to Hilton Head, or I'm coming up to Myrtle Beach, or I'm coming to Virginia, a few weeks out." And again, I'm a sales guy, so I have some flexibility. And I would come, I'd meet him on the weekends, and he'd play 36 every day, and he was getting me on all these courses that I did not have access to. And we'd play at the weekend and maybe into the week a little. Then I'd have to leave and go to work, and then I'd come back and join him the following weekend, and we just started playing a lot of golf together. And I think it was we were at the what's now Cabot Citrus Farms. It was Rolling Oaks at World Woods one year in early January, and we were standing on the tee box, and he was recounting his previous year. And again, he was wild, retired. Just he would leave his house during the summer and go on 3 or 4 months trips across the country, and before he returned. And he was telling me that the year before he had played like 147 different golf courses in 26 states. And I said, "Wow!" I said, "Man," I said, "Last year." I said, "I only played 109 different golf courses in 11 states." And he looked at me and he said, "That's not bad for a guy that works for a living. Have you ever thought about being on the panel?" And I said, "Only every waking hour since the day I met you. But other than that, it's never crossed my mind." And he said, "Well, you've never said anything." And I said, "What's the first thing anyone asks you when they meet you is like, dude, can you get me on the panel?" And so I said, "I thought if you thought I should be on the panel, you'd bring it up." And he wrote a letter of recommendation to Ron Whitten, and it took a while, but so I eventually got on, and I'm a Golf Digest panelist, which helps,
definitely helps.
I'm the state captain for South Carolina, but it's interesting. It's funny when I'll talk to people, because as a panelist, we get a determined list of candidate courses that we're allowed to read through, and in most cases contact them. Some of them flat out say, "Hey, don't even contact them." But if it's not on that predetermined list of candidate courses, we're not allowed to call them as a panelist. So I tend to have played, I've talked to somebody in some particular town, and I'll tend to have played the 4 or 5 bucket list courses that most people can't get on, most mere mortals, as I would say, can't get on. And I've played all the public and some of the lower end private. It's those middle of the road privates is is kind of the hole in my resume, if you will, in that those I've got to go through and write letters or have my pro call just like everyone else.
What's the most courses you've played in a day?
I've played 54 holes a couple of times.
Okay.
I'll be honest, the first time was kind of by accident. So let's get to this. What is a course? Okay, so the gentleman that they said, the friend of mine and whatever, we have the Marcus of Kingsbury rules of golf sickoness. A 27-hole facility is 2 golf courses. It's an 18-hole course and a 9-hole course. Okay. It's not 3. Some people would treat that in some of the app that we use to track it, that shows up 3 times. Each 9 is listed once.
It's garbage.
But
it's garbage. Those guys are trash that are trying to get away with that.
and you have to play at least 9 holes. There are circumstances, daylight, leagues going on, whatever. If you play 9 holes, a lot of my rounds are at the end of the day because I am still working. So to make it that you have officially played a course, you have to have at least finished 9, even if you didn't necessarily get the back 9. I've played 99 of the top 100 in the U.S. I've played 83 of the top 100 in the world. People obviously the first question is, when I say 99 of the top 100, they say, which one are you missing? And I always refer to it as the course which must not be named.
Is that your biggest golf course, white whale?
Yeah. Yes. Another one that was kind of or I called it a white buffalo, whatever, that I thought was going to be almost as difficult as the one which irritates me because it's the closest to my house, probably right here, just over the border into Georgia. And they host that little tournament every year, but I'm not asking. My white buffalo up till now, my white buffalo up till now I thought was going to be Chicago Golf Club. And in what was, I don't know how far down the rabbit hole to go here. How much time do we have? I don't want to,
Get all time in the world, Daryl.
Yeah.
All right, man. Okay, let's just go then. So in what is either one of my proudest moments or maybe one of my least proud moments, I'm not sure which, Chicago Golf Club was, Seth Rayner, my favorite architect, Midwestern course, and one that I had just always wanted to play so bad. And the old standing joke is that the average age is dead. So it's fairly tough to come across a member just on the street. And so it was one that I just wondered whether it was always going to elude me. It got down to where I was probably I think when I got it was probably 96 of the top 100. And I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and he was going up and playing several places in Illinois and Wisconsin, including Chicago Golf. And I was like, dude, you're killing me. He knew, he was a close enough friend of mine that he knew Chicago was kind of my white whale. And I said, really? You're going to just throw that out in front of me and not say any more? And he said, dude, I was the fourth guy invited. I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. So I was like, okay. Well, the next day he calls me and he says, hey, you're not going to believe this, but I had a family emergency come up. And he said, I'm going to have to back out of this trip. He said, I can't promise you anything, but I'm going to call those guys and tell them about you and see if I can get you in my slot. He said, I'll call you tomorrow and let you know. So I went home that night, bought plane tickets, as any rational person would do. And the next day, he had told me specifically that it was going to be on Wednesday of the following week, and Thursday they were playing Blue Mount. I filed that away because I had something fairly important going on Thursday, and I thought, yeah, I can make this happen. So now my daughter's a senior in high school, and she just happened to be in the car with me. We're riding home, and my buddy calls me back, and he says, man, I got great news. He said, you're in. I said, awesome. I bought my plane tickets last night. And he's like, what? I said, I found a good ticket, and I didn't want to miss out. So if I had to have a plane ticket to Chicago and go to waste, so be it. But anyway, he says, all right, be there at 9:00 on Thursday morning. And I said, no. You specifically said Wednesday. And he said, no, Blue Mount is Wednesday. Chicago Golf Club is Thursday.
Oh.
And I said, I don't know if I can go. And my buddy's like, what? Are you kidding me? And my daughter, who I obviously raised right, is sitting next to me. And she says, Dad, you aren't seriously thinking about skipping Chicago Golf Club just to attend senior day of my tennis career, are you?
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
And I said, yes, sweetie, that's exactly what I'm doing. This is senior night of your high school tennis career. I can't miss that. That's like a life moment, right? I can't miss. And she says, Dad, you may never get the invite to Chicago Golf Club again. She said, I cannot live.
So preposterous.
I can't live with the thought that you would miss Chicago Golf Club over by senior day. She goes, it's ridiculous. We're going to walk out on the course. We're going to take some pictures. You and your mom are going to stand there. And we're going to walk back up. He said, we could take those pictures next week. Nobody will know that wasn't the same week.
Wow.
So we walk in the house, and my wife is sitting in the living room. And the first thing my daughter says, Mom, Dad's thinking about skipping Chicago Golf Club next week to go to the senior day at tennis. Talk him out of it. Tell him he's being an idiot. And my wife said, that's between y'all. Like, I am not involved in that. So we've already determined that I played Chicago Golf Club. So yes, I missed my senior day of my daughter's tennis.
Well, I mean, the way that you kind of painted that picture, it seems as though Chicago Golf Club was above the dining room table, and everyone kind of blessed it before they ate their food. And it was that photo you guys all looked up at, like, Daddy's got to get there one day. We got to send Daddy to Chicago.
Now the amazing thing is, so many times as I've been doing this, I've either built something up so much in my head, then when I get to the course, it's a letdown, or I'm so excited about it, because I'm like I was a 25 handicap to start with. I got down before I got married to like a 3, but I'm a 7. Wow. I'm an okay golfer. But, I can get it around, but I'm not what I would call a tournament golfer. I mean, the more I want it, sometimes the less it happens, and isn't that the beauty of this game?
Totally.
Do you consider playing the same golf course twice a waste? Like, will you not play a golf course
yes,
twice?
well, yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
He goes, yes.
But yeah. There are ones that I will do it for, but not too much. But anyway, to finish, put the bow on Chicago Golf Club. So many times I build something up so much in my mind that, oh man, I cannot wait to get to this place. I've been looking forward to it. And then I get there and just play like a complete spaz. And it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Chicago Golf Club, I shot probably the best round of my life. I shot 75. I was it was ridiculous. I mean, I hit some shots, and I love Seth Rayner, and I hit some shots playing to a spot that wasn't where the target was and used the slopes and rolled it down to 3 feet. It's just like, it was an out of body experience.
Come on,
So,
Daryl. Anyway. That's great.
Yeah, to Trent's question, right? Like, I mean, you have this quest, and obviously playing golf now has turned into this is like a challenge more than it is anything else at this point. You're trying to get the most golf courses you possibly can. So, I mean, you mentioned a local club at one point. Like, you can't be playing golf that's not checking boxes off at this point, right?
So my club I belong to is a really, really interesting place, and this will be for another podcast if I'm graced to come back ever again. We need to get
you and the Duke, man. We got like 7 podcasts lined up with you and the Duke.
No, we barely have to do it. Yeah,
that's right. This place is called Musgrove Mill, and it's arguably the hardest golf course in South Carolina. I will take people out there because it's a course that people love to come to. It's kind of a destination place. It's got certainly in this part of the country and amongst better players, it's got a very good reputation, and I love hosting. But I'll be honest, that's, I don't just go out and play a lot on the weekends there. My wife is a saint, as we'll get to in a minute. For me being able to do what I do during the week and traveling, I just don't play as much golf as I used to on the weekends. When I was single, I was out there, 36 holes every day at my club. But now it's more of, I host people, I take people out there, and that's kind of it. And to hit it further on the not playing places I've already played thing, I will do it. I'll do it if it's friends. I'll do it if the course is worthwhile. But we had a couple of interesting ones. My best friend Dean, going all the way back to college, we play a lot of golf together. We've gone all over the country, but we still stay in touch and play a lot of golf together. We went out for a little bachelor weekend in Vegas a few years back, and he had set up all the courses because his son was going and another friend, and he was gracious enough to say, "Hey, I got all the golf set up," and it was Cascada, it was Wolf Creek, and it was Shadow Creek. And I said, Dean, that sounds like a lot of fun. I said, but I've played those 3. And he said, dude, you got to be the only guy that gets an invite to Shadow Creek prepaid, and the first comment is, I've played it.
Yeah,
incredible.
So he said, here's the deal. Well, that's what we're playing. You're in charge of the second round every day. You set it up somewhere else. And last summer he calls me and says, hey, we're going to Long Island. I got Friar's Head. I got the Creek. I got whatever. And he knew what answer was coming. I said, that's great, Dean, but I've played all of those. He said, that's why you're setting up the other days that I didn't set up.
Poor guy, you've pinned yourself into never getting another, it's like, God, I wish I could play that hole again. But you've like pinned yourself into you just can't.
So are you keeping the same pace? Like, per year? I know you mentioned the number you played a few years ago, but like, is it slowing down, or are you like, what's the planning process like? Like, what's the future looking like?
So it's getting harder and harder because there's not a golf course within 60 miles of my house that I haven't played. There's not many golf courses in the whole southeastern U.S. that are within probably 5 miles of an interstate that I haven't played. Other than, like I said, some of those middle of the road, a lot of privates, but on those, if I send an email, you usually get shot down. So I usually try to go in person and meet the guy and get his card. But now I've got it for the next trip, but that doesn't help you on this trip. So it's getting harder. But my pace has been pretty decent. I mean, I played about 100 different courses a year for like 10, 12 straight years. And then kids and, new job and things. So there's been some years where it hasn't been quite at that pace. But, if you think about it, it sounds weird, but 100 courses a year is only 2 a week. and when you're on the road 4 or 5 days a week, and again, you can, as long as I don't have a business dinner or someone traveling with me, that's pretty much what I'm doing, unless the weather's completely ridiculous.
Got it.
One thing I wish I would have done earlier was start keeping track of how many different people I played with, because I started doing that maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I didn't do it early on, and that data's gone. But in the last 4 years, I've played with more different people than I have played different golf courses. So if you extrapolate that back, you think about it, I've probably played with 4,000 or 5,000 different people on a golf course.
Yeah.
And
incredible.
the day I played Chicago Golf Club, which was the pinnacle of golf, and for me at that time in my golf world, some people would go back and just savor it in their hotel room, but not me. I went to the original Chicago Golf Club, which is now a public golf course called Downers Grove. And I stuck a peg in the ground at Downers Grove with a dude wearing blue jeans, a guy wearing a Cubs jersey, and a guy wearing a t-shirt, and it was like, in its own way, that was almost as cool, because it was the original Chicago Golf Club course before that was the one that Charles Blair McDonald laid out originally, and then they moved to their current location. So that was my, literally, I love, like anyone, playing the belt notch courses, but I just love meeting people and playing different courses.
So Daryl, before we let you go, we always do a top 10 on this show now. So I wanted to, obviously a panelist, you've played almost 3,000 golf courses at this point, truly incredible. I would love for you to give us your personal top 10 golf courses that you have played.
Oh man, you think I would have prepared for this or something? I did not. All right. I always say Cypress Point is one. Probably would have to say Pine Valley 2, National Golf Links maybe 3, Chicago right there 6, 7. I should have stopped. I should have done that a couple numbers later.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I did it at 3, 4, which isn't quite as trendy. Let's see. Oakmont. I've been blessed to play that a bunch, working in the steel industry like I do. I've got a couple of member friends there. Winged Foot. Sand Hills is probably maybe a little higher in mine than some, because I grew up out on the prairie in South Dakota. That's pretty special out there. Am I getting close to 10?
I think we're at 7.
Oh man. Well, let me see here. You want to see The Office?
Sure, yeah. I mean, the internet.
I'll go over and look at my magnetic board. I'll try to be as so there's more. There's the shoe boxes full of scorecards, and yes, I may or may not have a bit of a Jordan problem.
Okay,
a lot of Jordan golf shoes there. So let me look while you're getting the panorama. Let's see. Oh wow, I missed Shinnecock. That's pretty good, but that Fisher's Island. Oh yeah, Fisher's is in my top 10. Okay, so Chicago's at 14 on my list. So that's one I'm definitely a little higher than probably most people. And let's say let's go with something modern. Let's say Friar's Head, and it might just be because I'm still caught up in the. My brain is still numb from having been in that shower within the last 6 months.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
It's an all-time shower. It's an all-world shower.
It is an all-time shower. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, sorry to put you on the spot there. I didn't think there would be anyone that would be more prepared to give me a top 10 than the person that's played 2,700 golf courses and literally ranks golf courses for Golf Digest. But apparently I should have given you a little bit more time to think of a top 10. I mean, that's a preposterous thing to not have. I mean, you literally play a golf course every single day and you rank golf courses. How do you not have your definitive top 10?
It's probably
your life.
It's probably in my computer there, but I just, I just was the deer in the headlights look. So,
yeah, no, I know.
I do have to say this again. My daughter Sydney, who got me started on Instagram. So this is the funny thing. So obviously today and the reach you guys have, my world on that platform may change slightly.
I hope so.
So when she started me on Instagram 4 or 5 years ago, I had one follower. That was her, and she had like 1,000 because every kid in high school follows each other.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, I had 100. And then when I hit 1,000, she said something to me. She said, Dad, that's not bad for an old guy, which I'll be honest, I'm a bit competitive. And that pissed me off a little bit. And so a while back, I called her down at college and said, hey, sweetie, have you looked at Instagram lately? And she said, no. And I said, the apprentice has become the master. So I have already passed her by, and we're not looking back at this point. So,
well, yeah, I would assume that this will give you a nice little bump. The quest for 3,000 on Instagram. Daryl Boe, just an outrageous human being. Honestly, just so cool. Just so cool that you're able to do this. Like, we love this game of golf, and to be able to meet these types of people in the game of golf. The amount of different walks of life in this game, and the people that attach themselves to certain parts of the game, you have made it a quest to play the most golf courses, which came up as just like an organic, like hypothetical on the conversation. Like the fact that we can come up with a question and there's a human being out there that's like doing that thing. It's the best part of this game. There's always someone doing some part of it. And I love your passion for it. I love that you shared your story with us. We really, really appreciate the time, and we hope that you get to that 3,000. I mean, we're going to be following along.
Oh yeah,
these guys.
I can't wait for 3,000.
Real quick, I'll hit 2,800 sometime this summer.
Awesome.
And then obviously 3,000 still a couple of years away, God willing. But so Riggsy, there's still a few courses in Pinehurst I haven't played. I don't know if Casa de Riggs is open. Maybe we get tee it up for number 2,800.
Yeah, it's a little boondoggle effort here. We're trying to play you for. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
this is how he works the phone. How do you think he's got 2,700? He works.
I've been known to do that myself. I would love to play with you, Daryl. I would love to play with you. So we'll set that up. I would absolutely love to play around, and I would say too, there's got to be thousands of people out there that have obviously played golf with you. So I think we're going to hear from several of them after this comes out of just great tales from folks.
Do you know how many people are going to reach out now and come play our golf course? I mean, your emails are going to be insane.
It's funny because people have asked me, what are you going to do for 3,000? And what course? You got to pick out something amazing. And I said, again, I've been so blessed. I've played a lot of the really, really bucket list courses, and the one that I'm missing, I'm surely not going to wait and try to time that, because that would never happen. But I was like, I've also have had, and I guess that makes me feel good, is so many people that I've met over the years have said, I'd like to be there for 3,000. So I think now that I'm leaning towards, I'm going to have to find a course that's willing to say, hey, can I have like most of the course one day? Because I got a bunch of just nut jobs that want to come out and for some reason watch me stick a peg in the ground for the 3,000 for golf course.
I'm going to be following along for that. I mean, you snuck in there that you played 88 of the top 100 worldwide golf courses. Like,
I think there's a whole bunch of different lists. I think it's about 83, 85.
83 of the global top 100. That might be more impressive than the 99.
Well, having said
insane.
That, you think about it, 50 or 60 of those are in the U.S.
I know, but still, you're making your way to Australia, New Zealand, like all over the place.
Right.
My best friend and I are hopefully doing Australia and Tasmania, hopefully this fall. Not done that, but I have played all the open road courses. So done the UK a bunch of times.
We've probably got some that you would wish to have. You know, if you're talking,
I wondered that. I don't know, dude. I don't know that we've played a golf course that he hasn't played.
Well, if he hasn't been to Tasmania or then
Tasmania, we played 2 of them.
He said he's been there,
Australia.
Though.
I think he's going.
No, I'm going this fall.
Oh, I thought you said you've been there already.
No.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, we've got like 4 or 5 of them then.
Yep, at least.
Oh shit.
He's bowing. Daryl's bowing.
What are the Pinehurst ones you haven't played, Daryl?
There's still a few of the Pinehurst Resort ones. Trying to remember. I've definitely played. I don't think I've played 1. I've played 2 a couple of times. Certainly 4, 10, 8. There's some. Again,
You probably
it's funny,
haven't played like 7. You haven't played 6. You probably haven't played like 3.
I think you might be right. I
have the guy who has
probably
like 3,000 golf courses hasn't played the like 1 through 10 and like the easiest like numbered golf courses to be able to like start your list.
Well,
like,
he's a little bougie. He's a little bougie with his courses, so he goes down to Pinehurst and plays the big ticket items. He plays the.
But I'm saying if you're starting a list, like that's the easiest place to be like, all right, I played 1 through 10. Now I'm at 10.
No, hey, come on now. So I always have to. I always talk to my friends when they're just like amazed at the how much golf, how many different golf courses I've played and whatnot. And I always say the number is awesome, but the fact that I am gainfully employed and happily married, 25-year anniversary this year.
Wow.
Congratulations on all
that. That's the key.
And well, you got to set that precedent early. You better set that precedent early. You can't, you can't have the precedent that you're around and then be like, oh, by the way, I'm going to play 54 holes of golf every day at a new course for the next 40 years.
But I will say this. I mean, hey, I am a sensitive, loving, caring husband. I only knocked off 4 new courses in Hawaii on our honeymoon. So only 4.
Very nice of you. Very nice of you.
Daryl, you're the man. We appreciate the time. This is really, we love stuff like this. This is so interesting. I think your passion is incredible. Thank you so much for giving us the time. We'll be following along the journey. Like we said, we're going to be watching for that quest for 3,000. Hopefully we cross paths. Hopefully you get some golf courses out and maybe we end up at the same golf course one day that we all hadn't played before. It'd be fun to experience that. And we really appreciate the time. Hopefully a lot of people go and follow you because I think it's a really cool thing.
Thanks, guys. It was awesome.
Thanks, Daryl. There you go. That's Daryl Boe, the quest for 3,000. Just a mile a minute. That guy he's an absolute character. That guy has played 2,700 golf courses around the world, 83 of the top 100 globally, 99 of the top 100 in America, just sending out emails, making pit stops, shaking hands.
I mean, it's Pokemon Go, dude. Just for golf.
Crazy.
It's like he's just ticking them off. That's what he's here to do. He's
obsessed, dude. It's an obsessive compulsive thing. He's
here
with golf,
to
which
sit
I love.
At the 19th hole afterwards and tell you about all the courses that he's played. I don't think he's there to enjoy it. I don't think he's he's there to be like, no, I did it. That's what I did.
Well, it reaches a point where it becomes more about the quest than it becomes anything else. And the family knows that. Everyone knows it.
Well, he said it too, like, he's a tough guy to play in golf trips with because you got Cascada and you got all these great golf courses. And he's like, I'm actually not that interested. I'm trying to play courses that I haven't. But you can tell he's got the personality of a guy who, when you're playing with him, he's telling you all about every single golf course that he's ever played.
No, he's not there to settle in on a golf trip and be like, oh, it's going to be beautiful. I've played Cascada a couple times. We're going to love it. He's like, dude, when we finish Cascada in 2 hours, where are we going next? Like, dude, what are we doing here?
Honestly, shout out to him because I don't really love that life of golf to me. Like, I don't love playing a new golf course every single day. I like to learn a little bit about the golf course. I like to know where to hit it. My first time playing a course, I think a lot of people don't realize that when they're always like the handicap police are always coming after Riggs, myself, Trent, like they're always all over us for not playing well on camera. And like, I know that there's a lot of pressure when you play on camera, but that's our jobs. We kind of put ourselves in those situations. But aside from all that stuff, like playing a golf course for the first time always for me adds a couple strokes because I have no idea where I'm going or what the right shot to hit is. Your feet are never truly solid under you. Sometimes you have those moments where you're like, this place just meets my eye. I love it. I'm listening to the caddy or whatever it might be. I absolutely love the way I'm striping the ball here. But most of the time it's an uneasy feeling. You're like, oh, it's a dog leg left. And then you get up there, you're like, I could have hit a driver. There's so many situations that compound and compound. He's doing that for 40 years, like constantly playing new golf courses, which I know he loves, but you just never get that easy feeling of like, all right, I'm going to my favorite golf course today. I can't wait to get to that third hole. I know exactly what to hit. Like that's some of the beauty of golf is really learning that the course.
Well, there's also a huge percentage of golfers out there who are striving to have the opposite life that Daryl has. They want to go play the same place, hang out with the same people, eat the same meal, do the same thing every day, go home, fall asleep, wake up, do it again. So he's really living a life that is it's the tiniest of percentages.
Yeah, no, he is. And think about how many people either listen to the show right now or that that are members at a club and their game just doesn't travel. But at their club, they're like a 4 handicap or whatever it might be. And, they could play that course in their sleep and shoot between 76 and 82, 100% of the time, because you just know the shot. You stand on the tee, you know it's a 3-wood. You know exactly where your 3-wood's going to land. If you hit it left, if you hit it right, you know where to land it on the green. You know how the putts are going to break. You 3-putt way less just because you're comfortable with the greens and all the whole deal. And then, you go out to a new place and you're just kind of uncomfortable the whole time. There's blind shots. You don't really know how it's going to bounce, roll, the whole deal. So for him to be doing that every time he plays it's a
hell of a handicap. Experience. Honestly, a traveling 7 when you've said that you've played 2,700 golf courses is like the best 7 in the world.
Yeah. He's like, right in that level. Like he said, he was telling about that Pine Valley. It's killing him that he wasn't one stroke better, because he's out there pretty much. He's like, I'm trying to break 80 every time I play golf, which I think is a great place to be in, where it's like, you know, you're not expecting to shoot even par. You're not expecting to shoot 90. You're hoping to break 80. If you shoot that 78 at a new course you haven't played before, that's like, dude, I did it. I shot 6 over or so. I fucking played that golf course well.
I wonder where his like dopamine levels are at, like with golf, where we have still have such an appreciation for new golf courses, especially top ones, because we haven't played that many. Especially, I mean, like me specifically, like I probably haven't played that many top 100s. It's probably a decent amount, but less than 20, I would say, or maybe around 20. He's played 99 of them. Like at some point, and I've played a ton of golf. Like at some point, he can't be having that same excitement feeling that he used to. And golf starts to become more about just like, all right, we're on this tee, and like we're going to be on another tee tomorrow, and that's just that. Now that number goes from 27.45 to 27.46. At some point, it's got to get like that. Like that's just the way the brain works. Dopamine levels are that you like when you've experienced something so much, you need something more than that. But like if you've played Cypress and Pine Valley and all these Kingston Heath and all these places, it's like the next time you play a decently good golf course, you're like, doesn't do it for me. Nothing does it for me anymore.
I think though, dude, for him, like I can imagine that dopamine rush he gets of like checking off 6 courses when he returns home, you know, like adding 6 new badges. I'm thinking about my pencil collection, and like, you know, when we come back from somewhere, like if we go to like Bandon for the first time,
putting that up is nice.
And you go to like, if you come back for Pinehurst, a good example, if they've got like 4 different pencils, you know, there's 4 different kind of tees or whatever it might be, that like rush of filling them out, even the flights, dude, like, because, you know, I know me and Trent at least like log every single flight we take. And like when I come back from a trip and I log like 3 more flights on there, it feels so good to like put them on the board, baby. Put them on the board.
He's also got that engineer brain, and that's how that goes, where he's talking about Excel spreadsheets. He's talking about numbers. He's talking about knocking stuff off. I imagine now, talking it out, his dopamine level might be double what we're thinking. It might be way up there, for he's just like bang, bang, bang. Because that, you know, knocking those off has got to feel good. I knew we were in one when he was giving us a tour of his office, and we didn't have that great of an internet connection, and he was just going around.
Oh, dude. I mean, yeah, for luckily the software that we use for this podcast, it records everything locally. So to the listeners and the viewers, everything's gonna be pretty clean. And as though, I mean, Ryan has to do a little bit of editing in terms of like when we ask a question, there was a big delay, but our internet was an absolute disaster during that interview. I mean, if you saw me just staring blankly and like into the screen, it's because he wasn't moving for 4 to 5 straight minutes, but you would hear his voice kind of like speed up and try and catch up. So I kind of got most of what he said, but it was just really hard to have a communication.
I would say for about 35 minutes there, we gave him the reins to the Foreplay podcast.
We were just like talked for. He was he reminded me a little bit of Dave's dad, you know, cousin Mike Portnoy Esquire, where like if we didn't tell him that the show was that, he would still be talking all day.
Well, the good thing is we've got 4 podcasts scheduled with the Duke, and we've got 2 more with Daryl Boe. That's so weird that the last 2 people that we've had on the show, they both said the same thing. I almost like Daryl said it so many times that I thought it was almost an inside joke because of the Duke, because the Duke kept saying, that's a podcast for another day. We'll do another. And Daryl said that twice. I'm like, am I living in a freaking alternate universe that the last 2 guests we had have been scheduling multiple podcasts? Listen, I would love to have them both on every other day. It's like, those are great guests.
That was those podcasts. We're done through March through April with those podcasts.
Yeah, that's a shit ton of podcasts before Daryl Boe stops coming on this show.
That's just an incredible amount of podcasts, which I'm pretty excited about. We'll be banking all those. When it comes to home security, you want to feel like you pick the system that actually keeps trouble away, not one that just tells you something bad already happened. That's why we like Simply Safe Home Security. It isn't just another alarm. It's designed to help stop crime before it starts. Simply Safe uses AI-powered cameras outside your home. It spots real threats and then instantly alerts live agents. And this is what makes it different from the rest. Those agents actually take action while the intruder is still outside. Again, outside, not inside. They talk to them through the camera, let them know they're being watched and that police are on the way. And if needed, they can blast a siren and light them up with a spotlight. That's why we like Simply Safe, guys.
Yeah, I've had Simply Safe since we got the house. I mean, I've had the same Simply Safe system for a bunch of years, and it has all these incredible features. Like it has the spotlight when you walk up to the front door, it hits you with the spotlight. I mean, not only for just the safety and security reasons, but we were kind of tucked away in the basement watching movies and football all weekend, and I was able to check on Simply Safe all around my house, the snow, and as it was rising, and you can just see what was going on outside. You got to have eyes all around the property. I've absolutely loved it. It's been super simple. I've got the wireless ones, and I have to charge them maybe once a month, if that. Usually it's more. So it's super, super reliable, and I'm absolutely like over the moon with how easy it is. It's so simple.
Me too. I've had it at my house in North Carolina, and it's, I mean, again, I'm pretty incompetent with a lot of this stuff, and setting it up was so easy, so simple. Other systems might give you a camera and a notification, but it's Simply Safe. They're going to be able to handle it. They're going to alert the agents. They're going to have your back even when you're busy, you're asleep, you're on a plane. And right now, you can get 50% off any new system. Again, 50% off this month only. It's a great time to upgrade to security that actually helps stop crime before it starts. You go to simplysafe.com/foreplay. That is simplysafe.com/foreplay. One word, FOREPLAY. That's simplysafe.com/foreplay. There's no safe like Simply Safe. We're all trying to play better golf this year and all the time, really, but especially this year. That is why we have teamed up with Skills Golf Training Aids, people who actually know training. Skills makes the stuff players at every level use to get better. We turn that into gear that helps you groove a real, repeatable golf swing and golf game. Located at Dick's Sporting Goods and in at Golf Galaxy, the Skills and Barstool Golf Training Aids are designed to help sharpen every aspect of your game. You can go to golfgalaxy.com/barstool or to a Dick's Sporting Goods House of Sport or Golf Galaxy location near you and check them out. But a lot of great training aids.
We talk on this show about how the greatest golfer on the planet uses a training aid to get his
That's right.
swing on plane and making sure that his club face is square and that his grip is solid. No matter how good you are, no matter how many years you've been playing golf, you need to always be working on your game, and these just make it easier for you. We've got swing path training aids, we've got putting training aids, we've got chipping training aids. We all know I need those. I'm going to be stocking up on them, ready to rock for this spring and summer. I'm going to be absolutely using my Barstool Golf Skills training aids that you can find at Dick's or Golf Galaxy near you.
It's great stuff, and you know, as people know, I'm someone who's constantly on the chase to try to get better at golf. These have been insanely effective. You know, it takes discipline. It takes like a real concerted effort to get better. You can't just go out there time and time again and just hope and think that you're going to be better because you watched one thing online. You got to put in the time and you got to do it right. And that is why the Skills training aids are incredibly effective. So make sure, once again, you head to golfgalaxy.com/barstool, or you can head to a Dick's Sporting Goods House of Sport or a Golf Galaxy location near you. I want to talk about this climber, okay? This Alex Honnold character. This guy's at it's everybody was kind of saying it. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, you saw it a lot. This accomplishment, one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my entire life. Watching this guy climb Taipei 101, which is 1,700 feet tall. It's a 101-story building. So just think, if you've been in a building that's like, if you're at a hotel and it's got like 8 stories on it, you're in the 8th floor, think about how high you are. This guy, 101-story building. He free soloed it, free climbed it. Took him an hour and 32 minutes about till he got to the top of this bad boy. Him going around the different dragon things that were on the side of the building and just literally climb. Like, dude, there's the videos of him even there are a bunch of folks on the wall, not on the wall, on the windows on like the 80th floor or something, and he was just kind of Spider-Manning around those windows. Even that part, which just seemed normal, looked impossible. Like impossible. And at any moment he's got to hundreds of times make the decision when you're climbing that like we've made on little rocks and stuff, if you've climbed even as a kid, where you sort of like put it all on the line and like lunge upward and it's either got to work or it doesn't and it's over. He's doing that at 80 stories high, no problem. It was unbelievable. All he's got is his little chalk? Has he got like the chalk pad? Yeah. Where he's put chalk on his hands, which is totally understandable. Otherwise, it's just him. He's got the big old mitts. he's out there with nothing else on. He didn't have like shades on. He's got no hat. He's just like out there climbing with a t-shirt, shorts, and a little bit of chalk, I guess, in his back pocket, climbing for an hour and a half. Fucking one of the most impressive physical, athletic accomplishments I've ever seen. Also, just insanely reckless. Like, there's no way this doesn't end poorly. There's no way. It's impossible. I know he's got kids. He's got the wife. But having said that, watching it, one of the most impressive things I think I've ever seen in my whole life.
So I didn't end up watching it because I had so much anxiety about it. Like my Saturday night, I was like, I don't think I just want to maybe watch a guy die. Like, I'd rather just watch a predetermined movie that they shot and edited and put out, where I know that like nothing horrific is going to happen. So I didn't end up watching it, but I obviously saw people tweeting about it, and it's an incredible accomplishment. I've seen Free Solo, which is the documentary that he did climbing. That's a very famous mountain that he climbs, and I remember there was one part of that where the activity of free soloing, there's a very small number of people who do it, and he's a guy that doesn't. He's probably the best in the world at it, or is the best in the world at it. And I think like the other like 9 guys in the top 10 are dead. It's such it's such a reckless endeavor that it's almost not even like, it shouldn't even be a thing. Like, it's not like if everybody who went snowboarding and 85% of the people who went snowboarding died, snowboarding would stop. People would stop snowboarding. But there's this one guy who's really
in would be insane. If like 80% of snowboarders in the top 10 were dead and the top guy was snowboarding, you'd be like, I gotta watch this. Like, he's gonna like.
That's what I mean.
It's any moment,
any activity where the death rate is like 8 out of 10 usually stops being an activity, and this guy still does it, and he's still incredible at it. But I have so much anxiety watching him because I'm like, there is a chance that this goes really, really badly.
Yeah, people were saying that he doesn't have, and I don't know if this is confirmed or people are just giving him the benefit of the doubt for this, but he doesn't have the thing in his brain that tells him that he should be scared or that he should have any.
I saw that with like pictures. They show him really scary pictures, and he has like no reaction to it.
He feels no fear or anxiety or adrenaline. It's just like everything's just kind of like monotone. So like him doing this to him, and we can't even like conceptualize what that feels like, because anytime
an amazing amount of all those
climbing
things
up something, our brain's telling us that's dangerous. He doesn't have that in there, so he's just thinking like, I can just grab this and grab that, and I'm just going to move forward. I'm going to move up. His brain's never once telling him we are going to fall, and if we fall, we die, and that's bad.
He did have some wild quotes about his kids and like his wife, just like, what happens if you don't do it? And he was just like, it's, they'll be okay. They'll be all right if I don't make it. And it's, there's some sort of adrenal gland that isn't processing, I think, the way that we do.
Yeah, it was like, he said something about like, well, I really loved climbing and it had the same amount of risks 10 years ago when I didn't have kids as it does now. And I still love climbing, or something like that was kind of the quote. And because people are, again, people can do whatever the hell they want, and it has nothing to do. They shouldn't tell him what to do or not to do. But as you can imagine, people were weighing in, being like, you shouldn't do this because you have kids, all that. Regardless of that part, it was, even if this was the only thing, and this isn't the only thing, he's done like hundreds of these things, thousands. If this was the only thing he had ever accomplished in his life, I think he would be like top 10 most accomplished things I've ever seen in my whole life. Like,
he also was going over those dragon things just to give himself a little bit more of like a difficult,
like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's doing a tougher routine, like Simone Biles in the Olympics. Yeah, just getting a little higher score. Wow. Unbelievable.
I mean, not as impressive, but I snowblowed the shit out of my driveway this morning.
I saw you put up the Francesa.
Ryan Ritchie, can you bring up my tweet? Can you play this Mike Francesa snowblower as part of this after show? It's on my Twitter. We're talking snowblowers. I mean, yes, Alex Honnold, incredible, just really impressive. But you haven't seen me ripping and tearing up snow. I mean, there's no better feeling, man. The only thing that sucks is I did that right before I came on the podcast, and I didn't get to enjoy an ice cold beer right afterwards. Like I took all the stuff off me, the snow stuff. Here we go. Come on, give it to me, Mike Francis. This is the best.
At least I got the snowblower, and I know how to use it now. I'm telling you, I became one of the gifted guys that using a snowball. I'm telling you, I am like, I make designs now with the snow. I am there. I am there now. I got one of those big ones. But I'm telling you now, forget it. I have got that thing figured out. I have got it purring like a kitten.
Right.
I'm telling you.
I love when he goes, I
got that guy under control. I'm waiting to use him this year. Bring on that snow.
I'll do the neighbors.
I'm ready.
Watch.
I'm ready. I can get the whole driveway done now. You know, I have become a master with the snowball. I do like the whole block. I go across the street and I'll do the guy across. I'm telling you, I'm there. That's it. I do like the whole block.
He didn't say anything
with the snowball. I love it. Especially get that big snow. Forget it.
Oh, the best man, the Pope.
He goes, I got one of those big ones. I got one of those big ones.
I'm gonna go on the street. I'm gonna do the neighbors. I'm gonna do it. He's just going on and on, picturing all the houses he does.
New York got crushed with snow, so you had.
We got so much snow. I mean, out by us, we got about 6 to 7 inches. It was. I think it was about 6 inches. I would say 6.5.
Nice. 6, 7
because
inches.
when I opened up my garage, it was just like right there. And I just measured it. It was awesome. It was just like right there from inside the garage. But yeah, no, I was. It's just. It is really nice. There's a sense of community when it snows that much where like I'm out there. I went yesterday and did a little bit of it and didn't do anything because the snow just went right back on top of it. You never know when to go out there because you feel like you're not doing enough. You're sitting in the house all day. It's snowing. You haven't snowblowed. You're like, should I go out there, get a layer done? So I did that. And then it just snowed. It's like I wasn't even there. It's like they say like if humanity, if we got wiped off the earth, like all the buildings would just start to get like taken over. Like all of my work was just taken over within an hour and a half. It's like I didn't exist on that pavement. So then this morning I went out and did it, and like everyone's out there just kind of snow blowing, shoveling. I'm talking to my neighbors. My neighbor right here, we're right next to each other, and we're talking about like everything about the town, and we're talking about the history of the town and like what the name means. I told him I was reading 1776. We're getting into that because I haven't gotten to the Battle of Long Island yet, but I know it's coming. And all
it's
this
coming,
stuff. Man. So like it was just fun. Like it really is. It's very rewarding. I get anxiety about the snow blowing etiquette. I will say I get a ton of anxiety about that because
about where it's getting thrown. Or
I got mine purring like a kitten. I've got an absolute beast of a machine. I told my father-in-law this, but I was like, we could run this thing in the 500. I know we could. Like we've gotten that thing so dialed in that we could run it in the 500. But like. It's tossing snow 50 feet. So like, I've heard that you shouldn't be putting it into the street, right? And like, you shouldn't be putting it on other people's property. And then like they're snow blowing right next to you. And there's certain parts of property. Like we have a huge tree line in between me and my neighbor. But like, if I'm throwing 50 feet, like if I don't have that shoot angled at the right angle, I could hit one little button and that thing, I could just put it right back onto his driveway, which while he's out there would be preposterous. That would be like grounds for having a fist fight. Like if I just like don't pay attention for a second and I'm just running and I'm just shooting snow onto his car, like that's grounds for my house getting blown up or something. So you're constantly aware of this. And then also like other neighbors are doing the wrong thing. Like the guy across the street was just pushing all the snow into the street. And I'm looking at him like, look at this guy. Like, does he not see we're all consciously trying to throw it onto our front lawns? Like now when the plow comes, he's going to plow it into our freaking driveways. Like, why are you pushing all your shit into the street? Like there's a crazy dynamic that goes on out there. There really is.
This went from a community thing to now there's wars.
Well,
now it's a war.
There's
like,
a little bit.
I love my neighbor. We're snow blowing, but if a motherfucker does it the wrong way, we hate him.
Well, it's more the sense that like that's all I'm thinking about while I'm out there because I'm like everyone's out here. I don't usually see everyone out here, and we're all keeping an eye on each other. Like it is community, but it's a little bit like if you fuck up, we're all over you.
Throw it in your own lawn. That's usually the best case scenario for everyone.
Totally. Yeah. There's certain parts where you can't reach it. You know what I'm saying? There's certain parts that you can't reach your lawn. So now you're like stressed.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm on the furthest part of the property, but I'm closest to the neighbor. So now what am I going to do? Just push it right back into my driveway that I just did? It's a lot. It's a lot.
I could see how it would be. There's etiquette.
There is.
We don't have that issue, you know?
No snow in the Phoenix Scottsdale area?
Well, I have something that maybe will make you jealous today. Once we get off this podcast, I got to go give a bottle to Frankie Boy, and then we're going to bring him outside. We're going to do some like sledding. I'm going to build a little ramp. But then I'm meeting my buddy Andrew at the pond down the road, and we're going to go ice skating. We've got sticks. We've got pucks. I heard kids were out there yesterday doing it, and today was another 24-degree day. We're ripping that pond, and we're going to play some pond hockey.
Pond hockey's all time, man. There's nothing cooler than that.
I've never really done
jealous of that.
I did it once at Woodlock when I was like 8 years old, but I've never really gone to just like a local pond and put on skates and went out there. And I mean, I hope I don't fall through. That would be an absolute disaster.
I really doubt you'd fall through. I think your chances of falling through, I believe, are usually higher near the edges than they are in the middle. I believe is the way.
I also heard,
I
talked to my neighbor. He's like, yeah, those are like a foot and a half. Those little ponds out there, probably frozen.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a famous last words.
We'll know on Thursday whether you're here
fell
or whether
in
you're
a pond ice skating in Wisconsin up north.
Where they fell?
They fell right through. People had to come rescue them. Fire department. What do you do if you fall into a frozen lake or pond?
I would look it up before you go today. You know, just have it in the back of your head.
I think I saw a video on it. I just don't know. I don't know how you get out of the hole, but I heard that like when you're on. So I saw a video of a guy. It was a big boy, and he jumped into a hole in a lake, and it was like cracking. And it was super dangerous DIY, like a super dangerous video to show everyone what to do. But he got out of the hole, and then he laid down, and you roll. And I don't know what that does about like the density in your body or whatever, or like the dispersion of weight. But you roll all the way to the edge. You don't step.
That's you. That's going to be you in 3 hours.
I just don't know how you get out because I've seen the videos like in Harry Potter where he gets stuck under, and now you're like, and if I don't have the sword, I don't know.
It's also just you're walking out onto a frozen lake. That's assumed risk.
Oh, totally.
It is.
Well, I'll let you know how it goes.
All right. What a show. Big thanks to Daryl Boe coming on, playing the most golf course. He's maybe top 5 most golf course, but I feel like he's going to get there. Big week, like we mentioned, with Brooks coming back. We'll see where he finishes, as we all predicted. Congrats to Scottie. Congrats to Patrick Reed. And we will be back on Thursday, per usual, as we gear up for next week's big week, Phoenix Open. Big thanks to everybody who bought the Sambas and the other gear. We're going to have even more coming out and be on site in the fan shop, so get ready for that. We'll see you Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.